Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah.
By the way, you haven't solved the kicker issue until just because you draft.
No.
This always drives me crazy. When people draft, it's like, well, we solved our problem.
No, we don't know
the guy
that
you're
yet.
replacing him, the guy who's being replaced, you thought that guy solved the problem.
Yeah.
So until the guy plays good football in the NFL, whatever position, you didn't replace the guy.
Brad.
Here comes the snap. The kick is up. I can't see it. I think it's good. I think it's good. It's good. He made the kick. He made the kick. Cade York, baby. Baker, you suck, Baker. Cade York made the kick. Good draft pick, Jay. Hey, congrats to Jay. He finally got
Yeah, you cut off the best part. Congrats to Jay. He finally got it
right. He finally got it right.
My first final take on the show. It was the very first final take. They got the kicker. I called him the best draft pick of the class.
Right. You had all kind of slides. You had video before tag board.
I did.
The first graphic we ever built for this show was Jay asking to do a final take, making us kicker graphics.
Yeah.
And if you remember our old graphics package, which was terrible.
It was ugly. Yeah.
But the first graphic we ever made was for you and
Yeah.
that draft pick.
I'm not gonna take a victory lap. First of all, I want to point something out right away. Happy Browns
Monday.
First time in almost 2 decades.
So let's get that out of the way.
Yes.
It's a win. I don't care. It was ugly. Yes, there are a lot of issues. We're going to address all of them. Who cares? 1-0 is all that matters. You got it. You can exhale. You can move on. They've got a great chance. You don't count anything in this league before it happens. They've got a pretty good chance to start 2-0. They haven't done that in 30 years, 29 years.
I think they got a great chance to start 4-0.
Hey,
Next up, Bull's playing hurt today.
there he is.
Bull, I got my heart sunk at 10:30 today, 10:20 today. I found out that Bull was sick, and I thought, no, please, no.
I was in bed.
And somehow, when I walked in, he rallied, and there he is. So that's a props to you.
Thank you.
You're as committed to your craft as anyone that does this, and this is proof of it. First of all, I hope you're feeling better.
I'm feeling well enough.
I got to tell you.
off the set just in case.
I got to tell you.
There's my barf.
Is that what that's
Just in case I have to throw up. I've got a migraine, but I'm
I also
pushed through it.
want to say,
Yeah.
I think some of this might have been self-induced. The roller coaster ride that you took yesterday during a 20-minute span.
I said this to Mikey, by the way.
That was just a real quote. He really did say that.
I didn't see it.
Let's pull it back up. Pull tag board back up.
I was worried for you, Bull. God.
I hung up with you guys on our morning call, and then as soon as I hang up, Bull calls in, and he goes, if I die on the way and I die, I cannot miss today's show. I will not let Jay spread Baker propaganda on my wall.
First of all, there would be no spreading Baker propaganda. Everybody saw what everybody saw. There's no propaganda. It is what it is.
The analytics show he sucked. Go ahead. Yes.
Right hand to God.
Yeah.
I was very nervous for you yesterday because you get as emotionally invested as any fan I know, good and bad. And the swing of emotion in that 15 minutes from the time it looked like Baker did what was your worst nightmare of all time, maybe even worse than saying Brandon Weeden was going to be good.
Yeah.
This would be.
It would have been a nightmare had they won the game.
It would have been.
Yes.
And when that kick sailed through the upright, I was happy for the win. I was actually thrilled for you because I know, Bull, that would have been the most difficult day of your life.
Oh,
today.
my God. And then if I wasn't feeling well, people would have thought I was making an excuse not to come in, which I never would have done.
That roller coaster ride might have done this to you?
My wife thinks there was some anxiety as part of the reason I got a migraine this morning.
Wait, you think?
I don't know. I felt like crap all morning, but I'm like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I didn't even text Mike or Steve because I'm like, I'll be fine. It'll pass. And then it was like 10 o'clock, and I'm like, my head's going like this.
Yeah.
I can barely stand up.
You put your body through more than a body should go through.
But I don't want to make it about me because this is all about, like,
it's about the Browns.
Browns fans have to be excited. They've won their first game in almost 20 years. I've been covering this team since 2011. I'd never seen them win an opener. They almost urinated down. They did urinate down their leg in the fourth quarter.
They got bailed out.
And fortunately, Cade York came through in a big time manner. My TV was far enough. I had to go back.
I love when you said I can't see it. I can't see it.
Because what happened was I was trying to watch the game from my couch, which is right by the TV, but they were having some technical difficulties with me.
So
I had to go back to my desk, and that's a little further from the TV.
He said, I can't see it.
And I'm like, I can't see it. I can't tell.
He said,
And then it went
I
through.
think it's good. I know it's good.
I think Bull and I got it off our chest.
Yeah.
I want to say one more thing because I want opening statements from you guys very soon. The one thing that I want to say is Browns fan base was divided over this Baker Mayfield nonsense. Browns Nation, enough.
It's enough.
It is enough. We're divided in every facet of our life, it seems. This right here is all that matters. Baker is gone, let him go. We have Jacoby Brissett for the next 10 games. And if he somehow can rally and keep this team alive, there is an outstanding chance that this Browns team can at least have a voice in the AFC. But enough of the Baker still sucks. I told you Baker's good. Baker's exactly who we all knew he was. He did exactly yesterday what he did during his 4 years here. He had some awful moments. He had some great moments. What we didn't see during his time here was what we saw yesterday from him. 17 points in the fourth quarter. But enough of it. It's over. Stop bickering amongst yourselves. We're family, folks. We're family. It's time to come together, rally behind the players that are on this team, and let's help them make some noise. Opening statement, Brad.
Well, first of all, it's a tremendous win for the Browns, I think, to come out in 17, 18 years without a opening day win, to go down to Carolina and put it down. And yesterday, I just tell you this, I've been a proponent of this. The game is won in the box. It's run in that rectangular square.
Yeah,
right?
you said that Friday.
There's no more. Baker is exactly who we thought he was.
Yep.
Baker, that's the same Baker that's been here for years.
Highs and lows.
The same performance. And so the thing and I feel better for Baker because you get a chance to move on. See, I've been in that seat, right?
You have.
You have a chance to move on, right? And he wanted to get it off his chest. The only problem I have with the deal is do your work on the field. Cut the shenanigans, right? Yeah. You don't need the T-shirts, don't need the thing. You're trying to rebuild your career because you're a shade away of being run out this league. In case he didn't know. Memo to you. You're a shade away of being run out this league, right? Because you don't perform this year. I don't see anybody stand in line saying, let me give you a lot of money here.
I'll say this. It's going to be really tough for him to perform this year. That offensive line looked like a paper chase.
Well, here, hold on. Let's talk about how
they were terrible.
He's on a thin line between love and hate. His own people turned on him yesterday.
Sure, there were boos. There were boos.
Yes, they turned on him. Yes,
twice. But at the end, they weren't booing him.
Well, here, and he didn't. Let's be clear. He didn't play spectacular ball.
He played well enough to give them the lead in the last minute.
No, there was a breakdown defensively because that bomb should have never happened.
Listen,
And if he didn't drop, Jay, you said it's time to move on.
The Browns had breakthroughs in their defensive on offense, and Jacoby didn't see the guys.
Let me just finish my point.
Not till tomorrow.
That 75-yard bomb should have never occurred. There was a breakdown here.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
So that doesn't occur.
But let's not litigate. Let's not litigate.
I don't have to litigate.
Who Baker is. We saw it.
Let these guys get in. Let these guys get in.
Cade York was 2 years old the last time the Browns won a game on opening day, on opening Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that the biggest kick in the Browns' regular season 1999 and beyond era? I can't think of anything close.
I mean, certainly in
Dawson hit a big one once.
Yeah, certainly in a week one. This was not your normal week one. I think everybody knows that.
Felt like a playoff week one.
There was a lot of pressure in that building for the last couple of months to win this game. And this kid, youngest kid on the roster, has no ties to any of the crap that's gone on here.
Right.
Like I said, he was 2 years old the last time they won on opening day. He was in college for all the Baker stuff. He has no allegiance to any of this.
Right.
He just walked on the field and hit the net from 58 yards.
It was good from 70, wasn't it?
Net. It was an unbelievable kick. I snuck down to the tunnel, so I was behind Jimmy Haslam when it went through, and Jimmy lost his mind.
Were you in the end zone that it went to, or were you in the other end?
Away.
You were in the other end.
So I was at the other end.
Because I'm wondering, how much it had on it. It hit the middle of the net.
I know.
I think it would have been good from 70 yards.
Certainly from 65, if not 70.
He's going to break. I'm going to make another bold statement. He's breaking their NFL record this year. He's going to break it.
Gee, we haven't heard from you, buddy.
Oh, yeah. First of all, these opening segments are brought to you by Steve Becker and Tegna. Thank you for letting me rock this hat.
Did you get special permission?
No, I asked for forgiveness. But I had to show this hat, though. It's fire. You ain't got this one, bro. So I'm going to take that off and brush my waves real quick, and then we're going to get to it, right? We still
nice
got to
hat.
cut. It's beautiful, ain't it? But let's get to that, man. See, he probably was texting me, what the hell is Jay doing? I told him no hats.
No, it's that your face is so pretty.
Yeah, you
that they
gotta
don't
see
want
that.
the shade on it.
No, don't want the shade. I'm gonna tell you what, man. Yesterday, you could talk about a lot of stuff. You could talk about Jacoby Brissett doing some stuff. You'd be like, man, this guy ain't it. You could talk about, we talked about ad nauseum Donovan Peoples-Jones and Anthony Schwartz, like how they ain't proved themselves, ain't done nothing. But I'll tell you what, the Cleveland Browns did something that the Cleveland Browns never do. How many times have you seen a way the Cleveland Browns have given the game away that they had? Block kicks, pick sixes, strip sacks, interceptions, turnovers, fumbles. The Browns did something yesterday that they never do, and that's give a game away, but come back and say, the game ain't over, we still got time, and they made plays to finish the game. For the next 10 weeks, as a unified fan base, we got to understand something. This game is going to be ugly. The games, you're going to have to win a different way every single week.
Yeah.
It is win and survive. You might as well think of this as an NCAA tournament. Next week, you might need a couple turnovers. Next week, Jacoby Brissett might have one of his best games. Now, next week, you may need special teams. 1 week, Coach Stefanski have to out-coach somebody. But we have to do it a different way every single week. And if they can do that, the first 11, they got a shot to get Deshaun Watson back and be special.
Got a great shot to go 4-0. Jay, your sentiment is great, but I'm not letting it go for one day. We'll
I
start
didn't expect you would.
We'll start
Bo.
tomorrow
But
with the
just don't
kumbaya.
put yourself in a coma.
First of all,
Don't do
let
that.
me calmly say that all you Baker bros in your grandma's basement with your feety pajamas, you were ready to crush me at the end of the game, and I was here for it.
Talk to him.
Then what happened?
Talk to
Baker, who
him.
made who overall played a crappy game. Let's be honest. He played a crappy game. Don't give me this nonsense. He played a pretty good game. He was crappy.
How bad was
If you look at the analytics, he was horrible.
His QBR was 84.
He played terrible.
His quarterback rating was 84.
Yeah.
That's not a QBR. That's a big difference.
Quarterback rating.
That's a big
was
difference.
84. Yeah.
His QBR was much worse than that.
Ours was
quarterback
74.
rating is a garbage stat.
34.
Nobody takes
Ours
it
was
seriously.
74.
No, okay. Jacoby Brissett's not supposed to be good. He is what he is. He missed a ton of throws. Jacoby Brissett's not a good quarterback. We know that he's a backup. That's basically Baker played backup level yesterday. Okay, that's the facts. And talk to any analytics guy, they will tell you he made one big time throw the whole game. One. That's it. Anybody could have made that throw to Robbie Anderson. Any analytics guy will tell you this, Jay. It's just a fact.
You're
All
making
the
it
analytics.
about Baker, and I knew you would.
Well, you did. You just went on a diatribe about how we should all get together.
Bo,
I saw Browns fans wearing
exactly.
Baker jerseys in Carolina.
I'm not talking
Carolina
to them,
Baker
Bo.
jerseys.
I'm talking to them.
Yeah.
What you're doing right
Yes.
now
Yeah.
is stoking division. That's all you're doing.
I'm not
Bo.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what Baker did. The Browns are 1-0, and we're going to talk about
Yes.
the Browns today.
Jay, that's
Baker,
fine.
And Baker had 17
Jay,
points
you
in the
spent
fourth
5
quarter.
minutes talking about how we got to all come together,
Yes.
and then you guys debated Baker. So
drop
let
it.
me make my point about
I
Baker
didn't debate
here.
him.
Yes, you guys were talking about it for 5 minutes.
Take your
So
victory
I'm going
lap.
to say
Here you go.
that
Yeah,
Baker
yeah,
didn't play well enough.
My guy got your
That's
guy
the
over
fact.
the hook, but take your
Baker
victory lap.
didn't play well enough.
Let's go.
Okay? You want to say he played a little better than Jacoby Brissett? Congratulations.
Let me ask you this.
If the Browns had Deshaun Watson playing, they would have won by 40 points in this
But
game.
they didn't. And don't even use
And
it.
if the Carolina Panthers, if the Carolina Panthers had a better quarterback, they would have won this game yesterday. He made a ton of mistakes. He was awful in this game. Made a couple of decent throws late in the game. Yes, the Browns defense fell apart in the fourth quarter. No doubt about it. They should be ashamed of how they played in the fourth quarter. They were awful. Okay? Jacoby Brissett missed so many throws, so many opportunities to score touchdowns. Kareem Hunt on the wheel route. The deep pass to Amari Cooper that he underthrew. Right. 3 easy touchdowns that they had.
I think that should say 34. I don't think he was 18 and 24.
He was 18 to 34. That is correct.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah.
We wish he was 18.
Brissett was not very good because Brissett's not very good. That's no big surprise. The bottom line is it doesn't matter how ugly it is. It doesn't matter, that they almost blew this game, which they did, and Cade York had to bail them out. And if they had played a better quarterback, against the better quarterback, they probably would have lost because a better quarterback would have put him in the end zone and not settled for a field goal and give the Browns one chance to kick a field goal to win it. But in the end, the Browns found a way, something they haven't done often enough. They never seem to find a way. This time they did. Myles Garrett stepped up and played great. The running game was phenomenal. Nick Chubb, I love him. I'm madly in love with Nick Chubb. I love you. I have a man crush, and I'm not ashamed to say it. Let's go.
Bull. The only problem I got,
the
problem I had with this was there was all these people that jumped sides. Like, I ain't never seen that for the Browns. I've never seen.
What do you mean jump sides?
They basically said,
they're wearing Carolina Panthers number 6 jerseys.
Now.
Browns fans.
I said, I know somebody else to work with.
G-Boys, those aren't fans. A fan is a fanatic.
Well,
if somebody would change who they root for,
that's a lot
because of a trade, even if it involved someone of questionable character.
You know how many people
they're not a fan.
These people have season tickets,
but they're not fans, and they never were.
Okay. Well, all I'm saying,
they weren't.
I was disappointed at the amount of people that jumped y'all opposite now.
Yeah.
Y'all bought them jerseys, and I understand.
And now they can live there.
I understand you like that player, but I'm gonna say this: there are other players on this team that I rock with. Like if it was Baker Mayfield, I liked Odell Beckham Jr. When he got shipped up out of there, I said I'm gonna refer to him as number 13. You know why? He's over there doing stuff.
That's right.
He's not in my camp. I'm rocking with the cats that's in the camp.
We're not the ones who divided things, Jay.
I
it's
never
the
said
people
you did.
still rooting for Baker
what
over the Browns.
What I said was, for the fans that continue to want to live in that.
Yeah.
You're just dividing the fan base.
Well, let me just say this, because we need to get to the other parts of the game. But I want to say this. I do want to address this. You said that, the reason people are taking a victory lap is because he ran his mouth. Don't run your mouth. Ain't no need for a victory lap. Just go out there and play in the box. That's all it takes.
How did he run his mouth again?
Where you want me to start at?
Anyway. No,
that T-shirt. Let's start the last thing with the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Okay.
Right.
Yep.
The parade on social media, unnecessary.
Parade on social media?
Yeah, when you sit on the couch with the guy and talking about the Browns did me wrong. We don't need to know how the Browns did you wrong. Shut up.
Did you ever? Let me say this. Go ahead.
Let me say this. I've been in the box.
Right.
Nobody here been in the box but me. Right. So I know what that kid was sitting in.
Sure.
Sometimes just zip it. Say nothing. Right. Think it. Right.
Yeah.
So
now wait a minute, Brad. Don't make it seem like from jump you were. Baker's got to go. Baker's got to go.
No, I said
because you're flip flopping now, and I'm going to call you out on it. Because Brad, you sat in that chair and you said for a long time, Baker's got to stay here.
Hold on.
So don't make it look now like you're like, hey man.
So since you're gonna get me told, let me tell you what's happening.
Let's go.
Let's go. You're gonna get me told.
And Bull loves it. See what Bull did?
Let me tell you how this.
Sitting over there not laughing.
Let me tell you how this go down.
Good job, Bull.
What I told you before. Hold on. What I told you before was a business. I wasn't shipping him out because I had him under contract.
And that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I said.
That don't mean I liked him. I said,
Brad,
let me say this.
Say it.
All right.
Say it.
Just sip it. Just play. That's
right. Okay, good. That's what you want to say.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I'm going to say to that. You can't flip sides on
I don't flip sides.
You did flip sides.
I did not flip.
Because
I said keep him around here because I have him under contract. That's different. That's
exactly what I was saying.
That's different.
I said keep him here. He's your best option this year. You know what the 49ers learned yesterday?
What's that?
Sadly.
What's that?
Kind of the same thing that we're going to go through this. I promise you.
What's that?
The 49ers learned yesterday, be careful running the guy out of town that you know. It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. And if you watched that game yesterday, what you saw was a game that the Niners should have won, but they didn't. Now they start 0-1 when they had a winnable road game because they decided they were going to turn the page on a quarterback that had taken them to a Super Bowl and taken them to an NFC championship game.
Here's news to you. They all get run out of town, all of them.
That's not news to me.
The Browns weren't.
The
Browns did not do Baker wrong. That's the bottom line.
The best get run out of town.
And you know what? I think
the best get run out of town.
My point all along was I believed, because I knew that there was going to be a suspension of some kind.
Okay.
And you were co-signing my theory of it's a business decision.
I said keep him around.
Keep him around.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any argument at all, although there may be. If you switch quarterbacks yesterday, because let me tell you something, the talent on these two teams is exactly what I thought it was after watching yesterday's game.
Jacoby Brissett's going to have a higher PFF grade.
One team
I'll tell you that.
Has a ton of talent. The window's open for this team. Even with Buffalo, even with Kansas City, the window is open. They're not winning anything this year, but it's open. You take and flip the quarterbacks. What's the score of yesterday's game, guys? Try to be fair here. Jay?
Oh, the Browns win going away.
Going away.
Going away, for sure.
Not even close.
I've said all along Baker's a better quarterback than Jacoby.
So,
that's not
but Baker didn't
that
play
was-
that.
and that's
Baker did
been
not
my-
play better than Jacoby yesterday. Neither
No, wait,
one
wait,
played
wait,
well.
wait.
They were both off.
Neither
Yes, he
one
did.
played well. No, he didn't.
but Baker played better.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Just
Based on what?
Based on my eyes. Here's what
Not
I
on
saw.
my
Baker,
eyes.
here's what I saw Baker do that
Yeah.
and I hope this was a one-off. Jacoby on his reads, he's not processing it quick enough. He's just not.
But neither does Baker. He's never.
What do you
he's
mean?
never been good.
With the Robbie Anderson, the guy that you said wasn't very
Yeah.
good, it was
I
blown
didn't
coverage.
say he wasn't very good. I said he was average. That's
Whatever
what I said.
you said. He didn't scare you.
I said he was average. He didn't
doesn't
scare me.
Well,
He didn't scare me.
He proved to be pretty damn good yesterday. And
He
what
proved
this
nothing.
is my
It's one
point.
game. He had a good
In the
game.
NFL, the quarterback, before you get to all the other talent,
Yeah.
the arm, the feet, everything
Yeah.
else, it's here and here. First, you got to see it.
Yeah.
And to
Baker
Baker's
can't
credit,
see it. He got 8 balls knocked
to
down.
Baker's credit,
Yeah.
when there was completely he got 5 balls knocked down, and he's going to continue to get balls knocked down because he's 6 foot tall.
Drew Brees didn't get balls
but
knocked down all the time.
When you see it, you have to be able to put the ball there. And yesterday, I saw. Now, I'd like to look at the all 22 for the whole game because you probably can speak to this better.
This one.
A buddy of mine who was there, but not in the media, but still knows what he's looking for. I trust him. He said, I don't know what it's showing on TV, but Jacoby has missed. This was in the third quarter. 4 guys that were running wide open that probably would have been touchdowns.
We mentioned that already. We all said that. And Baker missed a bunch of guys too, Jay.
It's hard to say that the guy that found
all
the
I
open
know
receiver
is
didn't
that
play as well
when
as
the
guy that
official
didn't.
numbers come out, they will be 2 of the worst PFF grades this week. The
I'm just going
analytics
off
say both guys were lousy, but
Before
Jacoby was
we
better.
get run off the rails, we
Yeah.
got a lot of show to go.
Yes, we do.
McNuggets,
One thing here, Jay, because I trust you a lot more than
than me.
I saw 3 guys that were wide open.
I told these guys.
But we already
before the
mentioned
show-
that.
I told
not on the show. We haven't talked about it.
Yes, I said he missed 3 touchdown
I
throws.
told these
Brissett.
guys before
on,
the
Jay.
show, DPJ twice off play action was running wide open.
Yeah.
And I swear Jacoby saw him. He couldn't get it to him. He knew he couldn't get it to him. He was too
Wait,
far down the
arm
field.
strength to
Yeah.
get it to- oh, boy.
Yeah. I mean, it looked
What about
to
the
me-
turnovers?
it looked to
Jacoby
me
at least
like
didn't
he
turn the ball
saw
over
him.
where
Guys,
Baker could have
That's-
easily
and
had
that's
4.
what we need
And
from him the rest of the year.
Baker could have
No
easily had 4.
turnovers.
Go ahead.
If we want to solve this arm strength issue with Jacoby Brissett, we got to get him on Built Bar because the protein in those Built Bars, elite. 16 grams of protein, only 160
I don't think that's
calories.
gonna help.
That is how we can get DPJ on those deep crosses. We got to get him on Built Bar, and Brissetti's on that backup quarterback contract. He doesn't have $230 million guaranteed like Watson. I bet you he's using code LOCKDOWN15 for 15% off Built Bars at Built.com. Tim Couch is going to join us in 10 minutes, so we're going to get back to the quarterback conversation.
Mikey, let me say something else here. The much like you guys all owe apology to the wide receivers, right? DPJ played well.
No, we don't.
Yeah,
DPJ played a hell of a game.
Donovan Peoples-Jones,
He was really good.
He played very well.
Hold on.
He played very well.
He played a hell of a game.
I'm going to give him
He
props.
made
Yeah.
big catches.
Yeah.
But he had 60 receiving yards.
He caught what was
Amari Cooper had 3 catches
But-
for 17 yards. Where was Bell? What happened to Bell?
He
He's a
didn't,
rookie.
I don't even know if he played.
He played 18 snaps yesterday. That's it.
Where was he?
Well,
invisible.
Listen,
I'm going to apologize to that.
Because Donovan Peoples-Jones had 60 yards, he could have had a lot more had he had a better
Could've.
quarterback, right?
If and could have should have no place in football.
Okay,
this season.
Hold
you
on.
just asked Jason if Baker was on the other team. That's a would have, could have. Is it not?
No, that's a hypothetical.
What's the difference?
Hypothetical is a situation that didn't happen. This happened. Hypothetical never happened.
I mean,
I just told you the difference.
Are you
People,
kidding me?
Stop laughing for a second
The
and hear me out.
defensive tackles played well.
A hypothetical is something that didn't happen.
Donovan Peoples-Jones can't catch a pass that he doesn't throw.
All right, look.
Donovan Peoples-Jones played. You don't think he
Can't
played a good
apologize.
game?
What I'm saying is I can't
Come on,
apologize.
Jay.
for
So
that.
don't apologize. I don't care.
Guys,
I'm talking in general.
Guys.
Donovan Peoples-Jones played a good game.
X's and
He
O's.
played well.
Let's
He
bring
played well.
Go X's and O's,
let's
please.
bring
Go
it down
X's
to
Go X's and O's.
let's bring it down to X's and O's.
Right.
When you look at what Donovan Peoples-Jones did, sometimes it's not all about the yards. It's about the spot that you're in, the play you made. Every single throw
At the
that
time.
he at the time was
Yeah.
important. Donovan Peoples-Jones.
I'll give him that. It was clutch.
He went down. caught balls.
Got
When
them
people,
balls.
Yes.
he went
It seemed
up.
like every one of his catches was third down.
Hold on. There was a short sighting yesterday.
And it was
I
a
like, oh my
short
God.
sighting.
He made a
After a
big
drop.
catch.
After a drop.
He did have a
Hey.
drop early, but he made a
Bull,
big catch
Bull,
on the final
like,
drive.
I want you to just, and this is tough too because I understand that we're dealing with a quarterback that has some issues, some limitations. Let me put it that way.
He's not good.
Grade the wide receivers as a whole on their production yesterday. What'd you give them?
But no. So hold on, no. You skip the X's and O's part to go in
Yeah.
production. What I'm telling you is, if you're a heavy running team, which the Browns are, if you go back and watch it, Amari Cooper blocked his ass off.
Oh, he blocked it. No question. No question.
Donovan Peoples-Jones downfield blocked his tail off.
Yep. Yeah.
They did what they had to do. Sometimes
Schwartz missed a couple blocks.
Schwartz missed a couple blocks, but Schwartz also made a play. Now, would it really count it?
I like the end around to get him involved, to get his confidence going. That made a difference.
There are more things I think Donovan Peoples-Jones showed you in crunch time, when covered. If you give him an opportunity, he'll catch the football. And I think
Jay,
that's
what do you think of
important.
the receivers yesterday?
C+, only because
That's fair.
I was expecting David Bell to make an impact. He was nowhere to be found.
I would give him a C because I didn't see him.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
I would give the wide receivers a B. You're basing it on just the raw data of the production. You are not factoring into account Jacoby Brissett's subpar play.
By the way, Njoku, one catch, 7 yards.
Let's be clear. Down the stretch.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that?
Let's be clear. Down the stretch, Brissett was hot garbage yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, I'm just like this.
He's a backup quarterback.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying
what he
this
is.
here.
He's
But
playing now, so
down
we're going to judge him as an NFL quarterback because he's a starter now.
Down the stretch, I'm like this, G. Just manage the game. Just give me a
And he
chance.
did. He did not turn it over, which is why they won the game.
But here's the reason
There
why.
it is. Say
Here's
that.
That's it. That's why they won the game. He didn't turn it over.
Here's a guy to little Einstein. This is not a guy you can sit on the sideline and not play here. In all those preseason games, he should have played.
Is Tim coming in at 11:30?
Because he looked like he was out
Tim's
of
ready
sync
right now if we want to
with
bring him in.
everybody.
Bring him on
Okay,
in.
really quickly before we do, because you brought up what's your nickname?
Little
for him?
Einstein.
Little Einstein. And I know Tim's going to want to get on this too. But guys, Kevin Stefanski yesterday, in the mid-third quarter on, I was living my biggest nightmare. He's the guy that doesn't know how to put his foot on the team's throat and put them away. 17 fourth quarter points.
Shrinking.
At the end of the game, they needed one big first down, and I'm not sure. I think Chubb touched it once.
Jay, you said the right thing. He had his foot on the gas. We
Could have
had
killed
them.
him.
The defense took their foot off the gas.
But I'll tell you this, though.
That was a big
I
problem.
thought they did. I agree with that.
They were
But
dominating
I also
for 3.5
thought
quarters.
offensively, they looked like a team playing not to lose.
You had Chubb going hard, Hunt going hard. We go away from that for a while.
First of all, let's applaud Kevin Stefanski for finally seeing that.
Yeah, but these
and
are
finally using the two.
But Jay, to your point,
together.
These are your horses.
They are.
They better be workhorses,
especially in the fourth
horses.
quarter.
I can't have them off the field when it matters.
And there's graphics. I said it to Mike this morning, PFF. Both of those guys got the touches, and when both of them got the touches, you see what it is. My thought was, and I've always said this from day one, sometimes coordinators get happy. Sometimes, look at that, 22 carries, 141, 6 yards per carry. You also look at what Kareem Hunt did, 15 touches, also did it in the air. When you got two guys like this, it need to be your turn, your turn.
You just can't screw it up. When you've got those numbers, if they get that kind of production all year, the defense, guys, is a top 5 defense. I think it is. There were some communication issues.
Yeah, I saw that.
There were 2 big breakdowns that cost the Browns 14 points. Outside of that, this football game should not have been close.
No.
And I do want to applaud Stefanski for when they did have it first and goal, and they were both in the backfield at the same time. Look how easy that was. You always say, why is it so easy for other teams? That's what it should look like all the time.
Right. And he used those two guys a lot
together. And he
together.
was wide open.
And he was at fullback.
I know he was, but the defenses are going, where are we going? What are we doing?
Right.
In a little bit, Jason has a little nugget from the locker room that I want him to touch on about that fullback position with Kareem Hunt. But before we do that, we got to bring Tim Couch in. Tim, welcome to the War Zone. It's a week 1 win, and
We
it's a
won
on Monday.
and we're at each other's throats.
Yeah.
That's disgusting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm tuning in, I'm listening to you guys. It sounds like we got blown out or something. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
it's
heated
disgusting
arguments
to me.
going on, man.
The whole thing is disgusting.
These guys are killing the receivers, giving them a C minus.
Hey, Tim, I'm having a good time. I got my orange on. We got that
Hey,
dub.
nice band, by the way, too. I just now noticed that.
Listen, this is my new time machine.
Tim, it's not if you win, Tim. You know the deal. It's
This is not that nonsense,
right.
a.k.a. college football. All that matters is winning
Yeah.
the football game.
Tim,
they took care of business.
Give us
That's
your
it.
opening statement, couple paragraphs, whatever you want. What's your big takeaway from yesterday?
Well, I think, obviously the quarterbacks are the hot topic, with Baker and Jacoby, how, comparing the two since Baker had been in Cleveland and stuff. So, my thing is both of them, Baker was up and down. I was actually really impressed with Baker in the second half. The plays that he made, he got his team back in the game. He certainly struggled in the first half, but, he didn't have a lot of help either. His offensive line couldn't come close to blocking Myles Garrett. They batted a lot of balls at the line of scrimmage, but he kept his team in the game. He kept fighting, threw a 75-yard touchdown pass, ran a touchdown, and gave his team a chance to win it at the end. And that's all you can ask for out of a quarterback, especially making his first start on a new team. And, with Jacoby, I think it was just kind of what we expected. Just, I saw a guy out there just trying to manage the game, throwing a lot of short to intermediate routes, a lot of check downs, not really trying to push the ball down the field and be aggressive. They have clearly told him, you're going to rely on the run game. Do not turn it over. We have a great defense. We have a great running game. It's your job not to lose the game. You're not go out and try to win it, but don't lose it for us. And I think he did, from that aspect, I think he did a good job. He didn't turn the football over, and, he pulled it off in the end.
Tim, he can't move. He can't move from the pocket. He can't see. I just said earlier, I don't know if you were on or not, there was a couple of plays where it looked like Donovan Peoples-Jones, he was running wide open off play action. Yeah. And I swear it looked like he saw him, but knew he couldn't get it to him.
I thought the same thing. Yeah, I saw that as well, and I'm not sure why he didn't cut that loose. It's almost like they've preached to him so much throughout the last few weeks just to not lose it for us. Don't turn it over. And he's so conservative, it looks like, even when he sees stuff out on the field, because I think he has the arm strength to throw that pass. I don't think there's an NFL quarterback who doesn't have the strength to, to push throw a post down the field if he throws it on time. But, I think he's just so conservative and he's locked in on not trying to push the ball down the field too hard and not be too aggressive, that he's just getting off those reads way too quickly and just trying to find those, those short routes, those underneath routes, those check downs and things like that. So, maybe he'll feel a little more comfortable going into week 2 where he'll try to take those shots, but he left a lot out on the table in week 1 for sure.
Tim, did you see this? His processing. It was he couldn't get off of people, right? I look here to the left. He's not there. Where's the next guy? It just seemed like he couldn't find his way down the way.
Didn't we know this already about him? Sorry, Brad.
And I'll just say this, that I was listening to a caller from Miami, right? Mm-hmm. And on another show last night. And he said, listen, I like Cleveland, but that's who Brissett is. This is who he is. You're not going to get more than what you're getting right here. Right? And so to your point, Tim, then we got to rely on these other horses, right? This is it. Because if you're looking for something different, I don't know if that is coming.
No, it's not coming. This is going to be what it is, for these 11 games or whatever it is while he's in there. This is what he's going to be like. He's going to be a game manager. We're going to see a heavy dose of Chubb and Hunt, which you should get. We've got one of the best running games in all of pro football, one of the best offensive lines. So that's where this offense should run through. And Jacoby's just going to be that guy, like we talked about. He's just going to go out there and he's going to try and manage the game. He's going to try and make some throws on third down, keep some drives alive, but he's not going to be a guy to push it down the field and get explosive plays in the passing game. So it is what it is right now, and this is the way they're going to try to win games for the first, better half of the season.
Tim, as a quarterback, I'm gonna go to a couple of plays on the last play when Robbie Anderson got loose. It looked like, there was a cover 4 call, and it looked like Newsome was supposed to carry with that guy. I think John Johnson jumped the flat route. In that area, as a quarterback, would you rather see quarters coverage, which they were running, or would you rather, or if they were in 2 high safeties, it would seem that would be more of a difficult throw in case that he didn't want to give up a big play. Was that the right call for Joe Woods being in that coverage, being up by that many points?
I think it was probably the right call, but, I think Baker did a good job of seeing that safety jump down. And, once you see that, cover 2 would have been obviously a safer call because the safety's going to stay back. But when he jumped that route and Baker got out of the pocket a little bit and saw that, and he was able to get it down the field for a huge play. So it's a good job by Carolina. Seeing that safety jump down. But certainly I think cover 2 would have probably been a little safer call. But it's just good execution from Carolina, I think.
Tim, let's talk about some major positives in this game and areas of concern. One, Donovan Peoples-Jones, I thought, had a tremendous game. Could add huge statistics had he had a better quarterback or Jacoby seen him or made the throw, whatever. 2, the offensive line with some question marks, certainly at center and right tackle. I thought they were outstanding in this game. And Carolina doesn't have a bad defensive line, but they shut them down. And finally, 3, the defensive tackles. We had major concerns about them. McCaffrey was almost a non-factor in this game, considering how good he is. What do you think about those 3 areas?
Yeah, I was highly impressed with all those 3 areas as well. The offensive line really jumped out to me as well. I think when Jacoby did go to throw the ball, he had a lot of time back there in the pocket. And then obviously in the running game, they were opening up huge holes for Chubb and Hunt. Those guys were extremely productive, getting a lot of yards per carry, gashing. Seemed like Chubb was running off, 10, 15-yard runs every time he touched it. So the offensive line was extremely impressive. The defensive line did get after Carolina as well. They were great against McCaffrey, like you mentioned. That guy's such an explosive player. They held him in check in the run game. So I was really impressed with the overall team. Honestly, I think special teams was outstanding. Obviously, with York in the kicking game, they were great. Other than, obviously quarterback play and wide receivers, as a whole, I wasn't super impressed with. I thought Peoples-Jones did play a great game. But, what they're trying to do offensively right now, we're not going to see a lot out of those wide receivers. They're not asking much out of the quarterback or the wide receivers other than go out and block and, try and break some long runs for Chubb and Hunt.
Tim, I have a question for you. Before the season started, there was a lot of talk about the fact that this unit had never played together. And I thought at times yesterday, and it's easy to second guess it because of the mistakes, but the one thing that was disturbing to me, the play clock was constantly getting into low single digits. They took a delay. It just felt like going out there with absolutely no dress rehearsal, that they all kind of had bags put over their heads, spun around 50 times, pulled them off and said, go get it. Were you thinking the same thing too about this is why you got to play together at some point?
Yeah, I really was. I was thinking, these guys didn't get a whole lot of reps at all in the preseason, especially in game situations. I certainly thought Jacoby should have played more in the preseason. This is your guy going into, the first half of the season here. You're going to be relying on him. He's in a new system on a new team, got all new faces around him. Why not put those guys out there and get a little more game type reps before the season starts? So they did look, a little off, and they look a little confused at times, but that's what it is. You get a new system like that, new players that haven't been in the system yet. So it's you're gonna have a little bit of that, especially these first few weeks.
Tim, what are you concerned with? What areas did you see of concern? The coaching down the stretch got real conservative down the stretch. That was a concern to me. And I was like, listen, you had a chance to really take it to Carolina in the second half, and we kind of eased up on it. And that's been symbolic of what we've seen in the past here.
Yeah, certainly they got a little conservative in the second half. I totally agree with you. I think most of that had to do with probably how they feel about the quarterback situation, where they don't want to really push it and and try to go out there and maybe he throws a huge interception and gets the team right back in the game. So they did get conservative with the play calling, but I think that was more how they feel about the quarterback situation. And I guess my biggest area of concern would be, can these wide receivers step up? If we play a team who's good enough to stop Chubb and Hunt, if they just say, you know what, we don't think Jacoby Brissett can do anything, we're going to put 8-9 guys in the box, we're going to hit Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt every play, you're not running the football on us, can he step up and throw the football? Can these wide receivers step up and make plays against single coverage, against hard man one-on-one press on the outside? Can they make big plays, chunk plays in the passing game? So that's what is yet to be seen. So that's going to be a big test for them whenever they face a team that can shut down the run.
I think it's fair, Tim, what you say. I don't know if there's a team that can stop Nick Chubb. I mean,
yeah, I don't either. Yeah,
he's as special a back as I've ever seen in my life. Listen, I know there's a lot of guys that catch passes better than he do. That's not his specialty. They don't throw it to him much. But just running the football, I think he's one of the most, and maybe I'm biased, but I think he's one of the most incredible running backs I've ever seen. I've never seen a guy who, it's like he never goes backwards. If he has a bad run, it's because the blocking was terrible on that play or he slips or whatever. He seems to fall forward 3-4 yards every play. He gets more chunk plays than any back. Derrick Henry, Christian, I don't care. This guy is beyond the stud, and if he stays healthy, I think he's going to be a Hall of Fame back. I know a lot of backs go off the cliff quickly, but I have never seen anything like this. This guy is one of the most dominant, pure runners I've ever seen in my life. Am I over the top? Am I crazy?
No, I totally agree with you. He's unbelievably impressive. Just the way like you said, he never goes down at first contact. I don't know what his yards after contact are, but it has to be the best in the league.
It is.
The first guy never gets this guy. Like you said, he's always falling forward. He's such a hard tackle, man. He's so powerful. You've seen the videos of him squatting, whatever it is, 700 pounds for reps, and it's just his lower body is so incredibly explosive. It's hard to get him on the ground. And he's just such a good guy, too. All he does is works hard. He keeps his mouth shut, and he goes out and he just plays the game the right way. So he's an old school throwback type player. I absolutely love watching the guy play, man. And I'm with you, man. He is one of the best that I've seen in certainly recent memory, and he's got a chance to be extremely special.
And let me follow up with this, too, because how important is this for someone who's been on that field? You can't, so many players are emotional. I'm emotional. I'm a lunatic, okay? Nick Chubb never loses his cool on the field. If you watch it carefully, after he pisses off the defense every time because they can't get him down. When they finally do, there's extra elbows being thrown. They don't let him get up right away. They're always pushing, shoving. They hit him late. They do all this. He never gets mad. He never throws a ball at anybody. He never pushes anybody. He drives them nuts. And all he does is drops the ball, goes back to the huddle, and kicks your ass again on the next play. You can't get under this guy's skin. That makes him even better.
I think so, too. It's demoralizing to the defense. No matter how hard they hit this guy, he has no reaction to it.
Nothing.
They can hit him with 4 or 5 guys. He just gets up and hands the ball to the official. And then when he breaks off a long run and he scores a touchdown, there's no dancing. There's no spiking. He hands the ball to the official and goes back to the sideline and gets ready for the next series. So the guy is just phenomenal to watch, man. I remember watching him play in college when he was at Georgia. And Georgia, is always known for having great running backs. And Chubb was just, when he came on the scene as a true freshman at Georgia, he was just making an impact like that in the SEC. So I've been nothing but impressed with him going all the way back to his college days. And every time I watch him play, I like the guy more and more.
I know that you can't say anything bad about him. You're absolutely right. He's a future Hall of Famer. And I think if you just look at the yards per carry, which is what I tend to look at more than anything else, it's a lot of stats that mean really little else. His yards after contact and his yards per carry put him in the Hall of Fame right now. What scares me is we all know what the Browns are going to do. And Tim, you just said it. Teams are going to start loading 8, 9 in the box. And if Jacoby isn't going to throw downfield, teams aren't going to defend that until he does. My fear is, I just went through his game log for the last 2 years. He had games where he was the focal point of the defense, and he was shut out. And the one that really comes to mind was the loss last year to the Ravens. I think it was 16-10. He had 8 carries for 16 yards. Now, I know that he's an all-special world kind of back, but my fear here is he's going to get so much of the defense's attention that there will be games where this 140 yards is not going to be the norm for him, particularly now that teams know going forward what they're going to do. I think you can game plan for a back like Chubb and stop him and force them to beat you in another way. And that's where I get really nervous because they don't have another way right now.
I'm with you, Jay. I think, this is the NFL. These players are great players. They can game plan. They can scheme. If they want to take something away, whether it be a great wide receiver or a great running back, if they say this guy isn't going to catch any passes, they can do that. They can double him. They can roll coverage to him. They're going to make someone else beat you. It's like what the Patriots have done so well for so long. They take away what is your strength. They take it away. You're going to have to find someone else to step up to beat you. They're not going to let your superstars run wild or catch passes against them, and that's why they won so many games for so long. So there's going to be teams out there that are great against the run, and they're going to load up, and they're just going to say, if Jacoby Brissett beats us throwing the football down the field, then we're going to get beat that day. But Nick Chubb is not going to run for 150 yards on us. There's no way we're going to sit back and cover 2 and keep 6 or 7 guys in the box and let him gash us with a run. They're going to put the game in Jacoby Brissett's hand at some point. Now, whether he can step up and the wide receivers can step up and they can actually do that and they can make plays and back them off and make them play respectable defense, that remains to be seen.
The reason, Tim, that I was so focused on Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb playing at the same time in the same backfield is exactly for the reason that you and Jay just talked about. Yeah, eventually they're going to get to a point they say, we're not going to let you get 147 yards or whatever case may be with Chubb. But what we can do is, if you want to load up on that, we got a guy in the backfield that can come out of the backfield and Kareem Hunt and catch the ball.
Yep.
Two touchdowns, but caught one, was lined up in a lot of different places. I thought that Stefanski did a really good job of finally utilizing both of those guys and accentuating the skill set. And I think that he'll have to do that a lot more. And I think he has to, if you put David Njoku in there and say, okay, Njoku, we just want to get you goal line plays or quick touches, I think that's some way that you can actually keep the defense honest to a certain extent. What are your thoughts on the way he used Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb at the same time?
Yeah, I would completely agree with you. I love the way he utilized those guys and playing into their skill sets. He put them in positions to make the plays that they're capable of making. And the way they used Hunt in that game was phenomenal. Spreading him out. He was all over the field, man. He was out wide. He was motioning out of the backfield. He was catching passes out of the backfield. He was running the football. He's such a versatile player. You have to be able to take advantage of that and use that. And I thought Stefanski did a great job of game planning, putting both those guys in the backfield. It's so hard on the defense. You just don't know what's coming. They can go either direction with the run. Those guys can block for each other, catch passes out of the backfield. There's just so much you can do when they're both on the field. You know, you want your best 11 out there at all times, and certainly get those two guys in the backfield at the same time is very, very worrisome for a defense. So I love the way he used them. Hopefully continue to see that and grow on that. And there's even more ways you can use those guys, like you said, and just continue to put them in positions to make plays because they're also capable of doing so many things. It really is limitless what you can do with these guys.
So, Tim, I said I'm going to follow up with what G was saying here. You think about this, right? So I saw the game yesterday. If you in this business, you're running, watching tape and film of the game yesterday, you know that I'm going to stack the box here because Jacoby, you had to beat me. So all week long, this is where the great coaching comes in. Stefanski he's a smart guy. You can tell he's a smart guy, right? I got to figure out how to get Bell going. Donovan Peoples-Jones. Njoku, I had one catch, but it was a major catch. I was like, dude, this is what's coming on Sunday. I'm not a fool. Chubb's not going to run off 150 yards on me, right?
No.
It's these two guys here, Chubb and Hunt, right? So we got to figure out in a week's time how to get that clicking. Because if New York doesn't show up here on Sunday with that as a mindset game plan, then they're stupid.
Oh, it'll be their game plan. They'll know what they'll have to do. The question is, can they do it?
By the way, 36 out of 44 games where Nick Chubb's had 15 or more carries, he's had at least 80 yards. You brought up a game where he only had 8 carries. So, yeah, I mean, that was a game.
Well, he only had 8 carries primarily because it wasn't working.
Well,
the Browns at least recognized.
That was the night the Ravens put 9 in the box. I've never seen it.
And I've never seen 9 consistently all night.
Yeah.
And what scares me is, and I remember when that happened, a buddy of mine who's not a Browns fan texted me and said, here it is. Here's how you neutralize the best running back in football.
Yeah, then why couldn't anybody else do it?
Well, for starters, personnel. I mean, not everybody's going to have the personnel to do that. I think everybody agrees with that.
Well, part of the problem is they gave up on the run too early.
Well, you can argue they did or they didn't. It was I was actually glad that night that they did because it was clear it wasn't gonna work. So my point to that is, yes, he's the great. I don't even want to say anything disparaging about him. I'm not saying it's not disparaging about him. What I'm saying is what Tim said. This is the NFL. And teams can take away what you do best. Not consistently, but my fear is we've got a tight end that's making $14 million a year. He's one of the highest paid tight ends in an offense with the quarterback where the tight end should be Travis Kelce. 1 catch, 7 yards. And Tim, I want your thoughts on that. But first, Jason, I want your thoughts on something because, again, when you're not at the game, there's so much you can't see. What was going on yesterday with Njoku? Was he open and they weren't getting the ball to him? Was he constantly covered? 1 catch, 7 yards.
I got to tell you, it was about midway through the third quarter, and I'm like, wait a minute, where's David Njoku?
I found myself asking that too.
I forgot he even existed. So I can't even tell you that he was just a complete non-factor in the offense. I didn't even think to look for him until the middle of the third quarter.
Tim can say that. Tim can go speak to this. Is that not a function of the quarterback? I've never seen a receiver throw the ball to himself. You could be open all you want, but if you're not getting the targets, You go look.
yeah,
I never saw Njoku running free.
I didn't either. That's why I asked
like
you.
I did DPJ.
From what there was a couple of plays where I didn't watch the ball. I just focused on Njoku.
Yeah.
It looked like he was playing hard. I'm not saying that he was just sandbagging it.
Right.
What my question to you was were there times where he was open and the camera didn't catch it?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. That
And
doesn't mean
Tim,
it didn't happen.
I'll turn it to you now because this offense is tailor-made for a guy like him. He's making $14 million a year. This organization clearly thinks that he can be the Travis Kelce type tight end. What do they have to do to get this guy involved? Because they're not doing it. And if they consistently, if this is what he's going to be all year, it's going to be a long 11 games.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think it's something they're going to have to involve him more in the game plan. I didn't really watch him a lot during the game as far as were they just missing him or what. I did see him a few times, and I thought he did a hell of a job in the run game, blocking at the line of scrimmage. He
Absolutely.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job opening up holes, things like that. So I don't. In the passing game, they're going to have to get him more involved because he is such a mismatch with his speed and his size. They need to get him involved. And also, for Jacoby, that should be a really comfortable thing for him to throw to the tight end. Nothing is easier for a quarterback than to hit those little routes over the middle to the tight end. Those just little hook routes over the middle, those drag routes, something where he can just drop back. He can see the middle of the field very clearly, get rid of the football quickly to a big tight end, a big target like that. So I would think they would want to feature him more going forward in the offense. So we'll see how they involve him more in the game plan. But it's just something they're going to have to say, we're designing plays for Njoku to get open on this play. This play is designed to go to him because I didn't see any of that in the first game.
By the way, one thing that we haven't talked about at all, Tim, I wanted your take on this. And I hate punts. I don't like kicking field goals except at the end of the game to win it. But and I had no problem with Kevin Stefanski going for it on fourth down on that first drive. But right before the half, they had a 4th and goal at the 7-yard line, I think it was. Mm-hmm. And that's a time where you have to kick a field goal. It doesn't make any sense to do anything else. I guess if you had Patrick Mahomes, maybe, or a super elite quarterback, maybe. But even I, who's the least concerned, if I was a coach, I'd never punt.
I don't think they were actually going to.
I don't think they were ever going to.
I think they were just playing games to get them to use the timeout.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah, they weren't going to go
for that. But what
if
they didn't call the timeout?
Well, then they just would have called a timeout themselves. They weren't going to go for that there, unless I'm wrong, Jason.
No, because at first I thought the same thing. Like, they can't possibly be.
No, when they came out, I knew what they were doing.
Wait, did the Browns have a timeout left?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody thought. I'm wondering what he said about it in postgame. But at the time, I'm like, this is just he's just playing checkers or playing chess with them here. Force them to use a timeout. I can't. You never go for it 4th and 7 in that situation. I'm okay with gambling, particularly when they were up 2 scores. I'm like, yeah, go for it. But that close at the half, you get the points on the road.
By the way,
every time.
By the way, now that they have a kicker, be ready for them saying, okay, we're gonna kick this field goal. When you're playing it with a team that's limited,
right.
They are very limited, right? So if it's 3rd and 5 to another passing team is a two-way goal.
Yeah, bad quarterback, good kicker, you're going to kick it.
And to that point, there were a lot of times last year when I thought they went for it simply because he didn't trust the kicker.
Right.
Those days are gone.
And Tim, that's actually I want to ask you. Cade York's Hall of Fame induction ceremony will be 2042. But what does that?
I hope
change
it's later than that
for an offense. When you have confidence that, basically, if you get it to the 40, you got a chance for 3. How does that change? Not just 3rd down. It would seem to me that it changes what you do on 2nd down and 1st down when you know you've got a guy back there.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. It's such a confidence thing for the offense as well, especially in those late game, those 2-minute situations like they were in yesterday. If you only need 3 points, which most NFL games come down to that last drive where you probably need a field goal to tie it or win it. That it's so comforting to a quarterback to know, hey, I only got to get this thing. I only got to complete a couple balls here, man. I got to get us down to the 40-yard line. This guy can boom it from anywhere. So it's a great feeling to have. I know I had Phil Dawson in Cleveland when I played, and he didn't probably have the biggest leg like York has, but he was so daggone accurate. I knew if I got him to his spot, I would always communicate with Phil before the game, hey, where do you need to be going in this direction. What yard line do you need me to get you to win this thing? And we would stay in communication like that. And I knew if I got us to that yard line, that more than likely Phil's going to make the kick to win it. And I'm sure that's how these quarterbacks feel having York on the team as well.
Hey, Tim, let's get to a couple positive things here. The one thing I was impressed with, I want your take on this. Jacoby in the last 2 minutes was spot on. Did not panic, right? Because it looked like the world was coming to an end. I like it. This thing going south on us again, right? But he did not panic down the stretch. He stayed in it, kept him in a position where we just kept inching the ball forward a little bit more. Talk to me about what you think his last 2-minute drive looked like to you.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought he did a nice job in the 2-minute drill. He got fortunate with the roughing the passer call there. That was pretty questionable. He got a 15-yarder on that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah.
That was roughing the passer. They would have thrown a flag every time when I was playing for the Browns because I got hit like that every freaking
But they
play.
called one in Baker's favor on the Panthers' favor early in the game. That was even a worse
call. That was to the letter of the law. He landed with all of his body weight on
That's what I thought was the big difference. Look, I'm not going to complain because we've gotten screwed on that call a million times. It's about time we get one of those.
Yes.
But the neutral observers that I talked to yesterday said you guys dodged a bullet. You got a break.
No, as usual, you guys are both wrong. It was a helmet-to-helmet hit.
No, that's not.
It was a helmet-to-helmet hit.
It was not a helmet.
It wasn't a helmet-to-helmet.
Go back and look at it.
Go back and look at the transcript from the head official and the way that he worded it when the pool reporter asked him after the game. And he said that was the call on the field. He didn't even say it was the right call.
Right.
He said it was the call on the field.
And look, I'm not going to. It was a good. It was good for us.
Take it and run with it.
And we need that because we've lost games on that exact call. I can think 3 or 4 times over the last 5 years.
Myles Garrett,
Steelers, done.
The league has no clue what they're talking about on these roughing and passer calls. The guy Brian landed on Baker's leg.
I know that was ridiculous.
He didn't even land on his upper torso.
But he landed with all of his body.
That was the difference. He did.
And it's stupid. I'm not agreeing with you.
And you know what? So you can speak to this, G. Bush. How are you supposed to change the trajectory of your body?
There was nothing he could have done. Zero.
By the way, all I got to say is if these rules were in place, Tim Couch is still playing today.
He would still be playing.
Like you can't
Absolutely
touch him.
right.
You can't touch him below the waist.
Yep.
You can't tap their helmet. You can't land on them. You can't engage with them. You can't horse collar. I said I would have never be D1. I can't. I horse collar is the only way I know how to tackle. What?
Tim would still be playing.
Yeah, he's still be
playing. What
playing.
was weird last night in the late game? Brady took a late hit, and Brady is part of the reason all these rules got changed. Brady took a hit that was clearly, by the way they're calling it today, a late hit, and they didn't even call it. Wow. So I just want consistency across the league. And to try to ask a player to defy gravity after he's left his feet, I don't know how
to your point, when they first started doing this, going this way, I talked to Myles about it, and he said, I'm going to injure myself.
Trying.
With the way that they want me to roll off of these guys. He said, I'm going to wind up getting hurt trying to keep from falling on them. It's silly.
It is stupid. It's tackle football. It's part of the game.
Yeah, I know.
And
they're trying to protect the quarterbacks, and I get it, but
I do too. But the integrity of the game is coming into question.
That is a picture perfect tackle definition. If we go back to that, I don't know if we can or not, but that is exactly the way they teach you.
Look at that video. Jacoby Brissett is hit helmet to helmet.
1 sec.
That's a helmet to helmet hit.
No, it's not. Because I did the same thing on my TiVo. If you grab one frame, they perhaps may have touched. You got to use the helmet as a weapon. You got to lead with your head to get that call.
Right here, this right here. That's perfect.
That's absolutely perfect.
That's a perfect tackle.
And how in the world is he supposed to not? How can he do anything differently than what he did? He's already left his feet. And by the way, when he left his feet, the ball was technically still in Baker's hand.
Head on the side.
There's no way he can change that.
See what you hit him with the shoulder. He's below the torso. He's driving with his hips. Yeah, that's clinic tape. That's clinic.
It is. And he got called.
You got called, bro.
But you know what? I think it was a bad call late in the game. But I'm going to take it all day long because we've had a million of those go against us.
I don't think it was a bad call, and I still am going to take it.
I know you don't think it's a bad call, but and I got to take. Sometimes I can't take my own bias out of it because he hit him in the helmet. At the end of the game, I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is this is a terrible call. Yeah. But the people that are neutral observers that cover the game for a living, whose opinions I trust, And I don't know what the vibe was in the press box. What were people saying in the press box about the call?
Honestly, it didn't even come up, at least on the Browns.
Because the game was going so fast?
Because game was going so fast, and the Baker and the Cade and everything else, it didn't even come up on the Browns.
I'm sure the Panthers were screaming about it after the game.
Sure. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Tim. What do you want to see in the Jets game? Like I said, it's all about surviving. They survived. If you looking at the game next weekend against the Jets at home, what is something you want to see get cleaned up? Everybody says, coaches say, the biggest jump is from week 1 to week 2. Who do you want to see a big jump from, and what will your game plan be moving ahead with the Jets?
I think they played well this week, so I would stick with the same game plan, the same philosophy. I would like to see them try to, create some more explosive plays in the passing game because, at some point, like we've talked about, that's going to have to happen. So I would stick, obviously you're going to run through Chubb and Hunt. You're going to lean heavily on that run game. But let's take some shots. The play action, the way we run the football, the play action game should be so wide open. It should be such an easy throw and catch for these quarterbacks and receivers. So I would add a little more of that into the game plan, and just I hope they continue to expand on the roles of Hunt and Chubb in the backfield at the same time, and just kind of grow that a little bit. And let's get Njoku involved as well in the passing game. He could be such a huge threat for this offense. So that's what I would like to see going forward. I thought the defense played an outstanding game all the way across the board. Special teams was good. I just want to see a little more out of that passing game.
I like the play action call too, because if you're going to load up the box, you've got to keep those safeties honest.
And Jacoby's actually really good at play action.
He is. I thought we'd see more of it yesterday. I hope we see more.
Thanks, Tim.
Tim, excellent job. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it, guys. See you next week.
That Jets defensive backfield, by the way, looked like they could be head deep.
Yeah.
They looked rough yesterday.
Well, Jay, I'll tell you this.
They looked rough.
I know we better find Amari Cooper. Oh, that was sad yesterday. I was like, wait.
Did you guys watch the Cowboys last night?
Oh, that was awful.
What's crazy to me is it's clear Jerry Jones is the coach of that team, and every decision in that organization is made by him. He made the decision that we can replace it. We'll be fine.
They look bad.
Crazy.
Guys, they look bad.
They look bad.
When Dak was healthy.
Yeah.
Now he's out 6 to 8 weeks with the broken thumb.
Right.
We were going to talk about other NFL grab bag items, and one of them was going to be the team that's most overrated. And I think there's 3 of them. I think the Packers are overrated because we clearly know what Adams can do with any team.
Are we basing this on one game?
No, I'm basing it on the personnel that they brought back, too.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, they talked about it in the game last night. The Cowboys have a wide receiver on their roster that was an undrafted free agent. When was the last? The Cowboys have always had great receivers when they've been great.
Yeah.
They just let Cooper go and thought willy-nilly we can replace him. There was no one for Dak to throw the ball to. And now they
got a couple of receivers hurt right now.
Gallup is hurt, and Zeke don't look like the same back.
No,
Tony Pollard is much more explosive. We've been saying that. I do host the fantasy apology.
Didn't he?
You guys were right. They did have one more timeout at the end of the first half.
How many yards Zeke had? Zeke was running pretty well early.
But when I say he hasn't been
not the same guy though.
Zeke,
not like
Zeke was
he
could catch it, he could run. You can hand the ball Zeke 25, 30 times.
Well, they did give him 25. That's what happens in 25, 30 times. That's what happens.
It's gonna be a long year.
I said the Cowboys playing with was it Noah Brown from Ohio State. I was like, I didn't even see him in Columbus.
Yeah,
I was like, who is this dude?
And it worked out nicely for the Browns that actually the Steelers won the game.
That had to kill you, didn't it? Here comes the barf bag.
Here it comes.
So, Bull, yesterday, I meant to ask you this Friday. I meant to ask you this Friday. I'm so
Get
mad.
off that.
He don't like Baker at all.
Yeah, he get off of that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. He hurt. He hurt.
I think we're talking about a man who puts too much into football.
He
cares too much about this.
Listen,
it's a game.
No. Listen, this is how he felt about Baker. This is what happens. That was a parable fast. You know what I'm saying?
This is a first. I've never seen this.
You don't want no parts
of it. Hey, do you want to take a break? You want to take it?
Yeah, we'll take one. We'll take one. We never take breaks, but we'll take one now, folks.
We'll be right back.
Cue it.
Hey,
on the
Cleveland,
Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
And if you love sports as much as I do, then you've got to be watching the new Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. But if you don't have 2 hours to watch it live or on YouTube, well, there's a podcast version, so you're in luck. Listen to it anytime, anywhere. We're doing things on this show that no one else is doing. We're getting crazy. Find out for yourself. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts.
What matters most to me is family. Sometimes you don't realize how important it is until you're away from them.
What matters most to Jay? His family. He is a big family man. What matters most to me? My family, my safety, your safety.
I think the thing that most impresses me about Betsy is her versatility. Give her any assignment that involves going in front of a television camera, and she's going to knock it out of the park.
What's new with Betsy and Jay? Weekdays at 5 on 3. Recognize that feeling? It is the feeling of being together, enjoying the company of a familiar face, and sharing moments that matter. To you, to me, to us. What matters to some could impact all of us, especially in a place like Northeast Ohio. Here, stories are shared, from east to west to south. Stories of perseverance, of family, of love. If a story brings us together, it's what matters most.
Hi, my name is Jay Crawford. I am a lifelong Cleveland sports fan. I have carried my fandom every city I've ever lived in. People have always asked me, why are you so diehard about Cleveland? It's because I'm from here. And we know how much our teams mean to us. Most of us know that because of our parents. In my case, my father was just a huge Cleveland sports fan. It was really part of our life. It was woven into everything we did. And it was our connection throughout his life.
Hey, it's Adam the Bull for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and I'll tell you what I think of when I think of Cleveland sports. It's that everybody loves it. I've been to other parts of the country, and there's people that love sports and people that don't care. But in Cleveland, everybody cares even a little bit, from every walk of life, and that's what makes this city special. Whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, it doesn't matter. The people of Cleveland and Northeast Ohio love their teams like nowhere else in the country.
News you can trust should be news you can rely on.
And every night at 11 on What's Next, you can rely on us.
A new legal twist for Brown.
Today also marks the beginning of
We're here, and we are going to continue.
So the Guardians have to play almost. You can rely on us to help you go to bed better informed with stories that prepare you for tomorrow.
And with news that's relevant to your life. We'll make sure that you're ready for what's next.
Because being ready for tomorrow is what matters most.
Hey Cleveland, it's Adam the Bull. And if you love sports as much as I do, then you've got to be watching the new Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. But if you don't have 2 hours to watch it live or on YouTube, well, there's a podcast version, so you're in luck. Listen to it anytime, anywhere. We're doing things on this show that no one else is doing. We're getting crazy. Find out for yourself. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts.
We face challenges.
I get the shutdowns. All right, welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We're resetting, we're regrouping. Bull, we need to get Bull home.
Yeah.
We need to get Bull home, get him in bed, and get him rested up. He probably shouldn't have come in today. Mm-hmm. I know he wanted to because, you know, he's a gamer. He wanted to get here and he wanted to talk about the first Browns game of the season, and that's why we love him. The guy is as passionate about his job as anybody I know. Maybe sometimes too passionate. We want to get him settled down. We want to get him home and get him resting. And he tells us he's going to be fine. So we believe that, but we're certainly. I think there is a lesson to it. We all get in the moment. We all get riled up, man. We do. But you know, it's just a damn.
Be clear. This group is family, right?
Yeah.
This is
it
like,
is.
This is.
We can say things. I said things to you that you're not going to hold against me.
I never take it personal.
I'm not going to hold against.
Because we're family. Because,
and we love each other.
Because we know each other off the set, right? And so everybody's heart is in the right place.
But we do got to look out for each other too.
Right. So when we sit here, I mean, we were all surprised that Bull even showed up today.
I
was like, why are you even here
today? What are you doing here?
And at first I thought he was joking. I said, no, he ain't throwing up for real.
I thought he was joking too.
No, I was
kind of squinted his eyes.
Here it comes.
But you know, sometimes, like you said, bro, you know, this stuff gets you worked up.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you the passion that it means to people, right? This is the first Browns game that we doing on this platform. We probably got the most people we've ever seen watch us. And even though he was sick, he came in and tried to deliver, and I think he did a tremendous job. But sometimes you got to remember, you know, people stress out about certain things, but if you ain't here, if you leave this place,
games mean nothing.
They don't mean nothing, bro.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So Bull will be all right. Looks like he'll be okay. But
did I tell you guys the story about my dad before he died? I think I did. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, Indians, right?
We were watching the 07
that's right.
ALCS
did.
together.
Yes, you did.
And he was dying of cancer, and I'd flown out to Arizona. They had a 3-1 lead, and we were going to watch them win the ALCS and then win the World Series, and it was just perfect timing. I was just like, this is it. This is unbelievable. Because we'd never experienced a championship together, ever. And we went out there, and at the end of Game 7, disappointing loss, I'm gutted. I'm like, I could barely stand. And my dad was riddled and gets to his feet and says, I'm going to shuffle off to my bed. And I said, Dad, hold on, sit down. Just like that? That's it? I'm not going to talk about this? Nothing? He said, what's there to talk about? I said, we just lost our championship opportunity together. He said, that's one way of looking at it. I look at it as I got to watch 3 more baseball games with my best friend before I die. And he actually, we talked for about 15 minutes after that, and he said, I wouldn't change any of this. I said, I want them to win, sure, but you weren't getting a ring. I'm not getting a ring. And most importantly, had they won, no one's going to tell me you get 3 more years, 3 more months, 3 more weeks. That's not going to happen. So I want you to carry forward from this day this thought. Enjoy these games. Be with your son when you can. If they're ever in a position to win one, whatever you're doing, stop. Whatever your boy is doing, stop, because it's not as important as sharing it. And we both did. Corey was a week away from going to the Olympic trials. And he left Rutgers where he was training, and we were together for Game 7. But it's changed the way I live my life, and it's a lot easier this way. I still care. I still cuss. I still throw things. But I'm nothing like I used to be, and that's because of my dad. And I think I tell that story often just because I think it is a valuable lesson that we can all. These are games. Yeah. And we ain't getting checks.
That's all they are.
If they win or lose, I know we have pride, and it might change our life for 3 days, but life goes on.
Oh, man, they call me all the bill collectors call me all the time. I'll be like,
they win wait, you can't call me. The Browns won.
I'll be like, if I die tomorrow, you still ain't getting paid.
No, the only reason I tell that story is because I do think that these games are entertainment.
These are people.
And they're real people.
They're real people
that are playing them, and I can understand. It's their livelihood.
Right.
It's not our livelihood.
Right.
Jason, we've been remiss to this point. We're an hour and 10 minutes into the show. You were at the game. I want to get more detailed your thoughts, and I really wanted something really struck me last night. Jacoby Brissett in the post game was fighting back tears.
Yeah.
Before the game, Aditi, who did an unbelievable job, which we knew she would, I think it was Aditi who told this story. She said she had asked Jacoby, are you nervous, on Saturday night for their press meeting? And he said, about what? And she said, he really is just taking this. But it was obvious after the game by his show of emotion, this is a big deal to him. What did you make of all of that?
I was in the locker room, so I wasn't in his press conference.
Have you heard it?
Yeah, obviously.
Okay, just as good. Like, what's your takeaway from that?
I think he's just overwhelmed by the moment that he's in. He probably never thought he was going to have an opportunity to start again.
Right.
You know, I mean, he's, as Bull has said 100 times today, he's not a starting caliber NFL quarterback for the most part.
Yeah.
And I think just it's a lot of emotion. A lot went into it just because of the guy he's replacing. And I wrote it this morning. I wrote it after the game last night. There's a lot of pressure in this building on this one game. And guys may not want to acknowledge it, but it wasn't, win or you're fired type pressure, but this is a different feeling.
Is it fair to say that this could have tipped the season? Because
I think so.
I know
Absolutely.
It's not win or be fired, but I felt in the moment when they went down, I thought I just watched their entire season go down the drain, because if you start 0-1 and lose that game with everything, all the build-up, it's a wrap. You're not coming back from that. I believe, and this might be the most hyperbolic thing I've ever said in my life, I think they saved their season yesterday.
I don't think there's any doubt that getting off to a 1-0 start was crucial. And I'll go to Jacoby Brissett, right? The pressure that's on him, right? When I watched that press conference, it's like he did not want to let people down. I don't know a player who goes into things saying, I don't want to think, because people talk about, well, he sucks, he this, that. People have pride in what they do.
And they hear that.
He wants to deliver, right? And he felt like, I can only imagine that he felt like he didn't live up to his end of the bargain, right? And that's why I go back to the last 2 minutes, Jason. Yeah. Because he saved that.
He did, absolutely.
He did not panic, right?
He completed two huge balls.
Because if you look at the sideline, Jay, there was panic on the sideline because we had been here before.
Yeah.
They were like, "Oh, here it comes."
He had not with this organization.
Here it comes, and everybody else relaxed, didn't they, G?
I remember, we were playing in college, and I remember we playing Iowa State, and they had Seneca Wallace, and they had the biggest offensive lineman I've ever seen, and we playing these people at home, and 2 defensive linemen get hurt, and mind you, I'm only like 270. They say, G. Bush, you gonna play nose tackle today. I said, what? I don't go below guards. I stay outside. I'm outside the tight end. And I could just remember going back and telling my dad, like, hey, man, I don't know, man. He said, man, you all you got to do is just go in there and don't embarrass yourself, right? And I knew the gravity, and I kind of compared to Jacoby Brissett. Right. When you got a team that has aspirations, right, and you knew, and you know the turmoil, and you know what's involved, and you know the type of talent you got, you just want to say, and just be a man about the situation. And the thing that I loved, the fact was, he didn't give him the turnover. He only had 1 sack. And we can live to fight another day with only 1 sack, 3 penalties, and no turnovers.
I'll give you a point. Here's a point in the game, Jay. Think about it. Remember when they were about to sack him, but to go down, and his head was hanging on his leg?
Yes.
He's like, I'm not going down.
Yeah, no, that
and
was
he knew
big.
how to throw it away.
That was big.
Now, in previous seasons,
That's
we were taking sacks in this thing.
Or a
pick.
pick.
He was like, I'm not going down, and I'm not going to turn this thing over.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to need down the stretch for 11 games here.
Jay,
I just wonder if we would be talking like this if Cade missed the kick.
No, we won't. No.
No.
You know, one play changes how you feel about every play before it.
Yes.
When that play is the last play of the game. And winning hides warts.
Yes.
And I think what we're here to do today is to talk about those, because this team is who they are. They're a run football team that is, I think, defensive dominant, and that combination, you can win that way. I know you had always said, look, at some point they're going to have to throw the football, because your numbers about what happens, it is staggering. Yeah. It really, that number drives home more than any that this is a passing league. And you might be able to squeak out wins here and there with defense and running. But you are not going to win in the macro picture if you can't throw the football.
So we're not going to Woody Hayes football? We're not going to do that?
No.
We're not going back to that 3 yards of cloud of dust?
Jay, yesterday, I haven't heard enough from you about what you saw there yesterday. I want you to talk.
Well, one of the things that jumped out at me was what a huge catch for Anthony Schwartz. Like, a huge catch. 3rd down conversion. And I know he was credited with...
Not an easy catch either.
Not an easy catch. I'm not sure the drop was really a drop. I didn't have a good angle on it.
Yeah, it was a drop.
It was a difficult catch, but it was a good
right.
It hit him
from
in his
where
hands.
I was sitting, it looked like it was more of a pass defense than a drop. But regardless, I talked to him after the game and just went up to him and said, hey, man, this is a huge catch. And the relief on his face.
I can only imagine.
You can see it.
And he was like, thanks, man. Like just absolute joy and relief. And I said, was this wearing on you? And he said, yeah, absolutely. The last couple of weeks was wearing on him. He's all over social media. He saw and heard it all.
He's human. How can it not?
How can you not?
And he's a young kid.
And he's a good kid, too.
Just trying to figure it out.
He's a good kid.
And I said, and really it was the OBJ package early on. Just get it in Schwartz's hands. Just get it in his hands and let him make a play.
Do you think that was designed specifically to take pressure off of him, that end around?
And it worked. And he said, that just getting hit, just being able to hold the ball, run, get hit, knock some of the butterflies out, it got me going. It got me into the game again.
So, Jason, I can tell you this from the player standpoint. So that was me in Chicago, right? And this was before social media. It was just raining in the papers and everything, right? You're trying to just get your footing here, right? So sometimes you need just people to come to you to make it just a little bit easier for it, to give you that confidence, right? So the Bulls, we would start every game. Doug Collins would run every play for me from the beginning of the game, every game. We run the Brad's number here, the first 3 times down here. Not Jordan. We're getting Brad going first.
Just to get you involved.
Get you going first and get you right? Yep. Because you have to do that to some people here just to get them in the flow, right? Because if you leave them out and you start hearing the outside noise here, one mistake now becomes magnified to 1,000. Now you feel like it's 1,000. Like, I got to get this thing up. And it's only one play here. But that catch to him, after he made that catch, I was like, and it was after the reverse. Because the reverse was like, oh, my God, I actually turned the corner here. I got some good yards.
I think that shows some growth in Stefanski, too, because he had to go into that game plan with some insight and foresight to say, okay, this is how I'm going to jumpstart Schwartz. This is how I'm going to get him to rock. And I need him
because
later.
He had to know it was struggling.
He knew he had to. And I think, I look at the quarterback situation, and I think, and with Schwartz and all those guys, I think they're preaching when they go into the film study, they're going to show Jacoby, hey, if you hit 2 of these throws, the game's completely different, right? 2 of those throws, the one on the sideline to Mari Cooper where he should have put it on the line, he could have been there. And people forget he overthrew Kareem Hunt too on the sideline. Now he was wide open on the wheel route. I think if you say, guys, I know we kind of lost some stuff, but let's go look at some isolated instances. 2 blown calls, 2 blown coverages, they gave him 14 points.
To Jay's point, because Jay brought up earlier, I think one of the mistakes Stefanski did, and he's trying to do the right thing. So, I might make some fun of it, but he's trying to do the right thing. One of the mistakes he made, a guy like Jacoby Brissett, you have to play him because he looked like he was just finding his way out there in real time with people staying on.
You mean going back to the preseason?
Yes, he has to. Some people just have to get work. He just has to stay working, right? He's not a guy.
Did it come up in post game at all? Whether or not he had regrets for not using him more in preseason?
Not with Kevin. I did talk to a couple guys on the offensive side of just early on, the play clock running down, having to burn a timeout.
That was really
guys not knowing where to go. I'm like, guys,
he's doing this and doing that.
This
get over here.
Fourth play of the season. How do you not know where you're supposed to be lined up?
And it was really a problem through much of the first half.
And I asked a couple of guys on the offensive side, does this have anything to do with not playing in the preseason? And the answer is basically no. It's really more of a that stuff you do in practice. The preseason really is.
I know, but the only reason that players aren't going to say, "Yep, we should have played more," because then it goes back to the coach. But having the clock, I always say it's not really about. They're not going to get anything out of it. They're not going to become better players. They're going to become a better group together.
Be in sync.
It's all about the real
synchronization,
the realness of the show, the true dress rehearsal. And I just think that that's invaluable.
But Jay,
and they didn't get it.
To your point, it has to be done in real time.
Yes.
You cannot simulate it in practice. I don't care how hard
you
we go
can
in
try,
practice.
but you don't have the crowd. You don't have any of it.
It's not the nerves.
I think they have to play together on the road. Not that preseason crowds are hostile.
You have to sit here in real time because you're processing things in real moments. Here, and that's what happened. I mean, how many times did we go down to the clock? It was like the last 2 seconds.
Too many.
Before he was like, snap, I was snap the ball.
All day long, I'm saying, snap it, snap it, snap it.
Well, just let me ask you this question. What was the energy like in the locker room? The energy of the overall field? Because to me, I think we came off the offseason and it was a little doom and gloom because of the whole Watson thing. I think that just put a weight around everybody because we just talked about it, the fans as well. But you said something to me before we got on air. You said, hey, it was 50% Browns in the building down there. The Browns fans was going crazy.
The whole upper deck was orange.
Yeah.
To me, it just feels like, even though they got a backup plan, it feels like the energy is, they think that they can win. They really think that they can do some things with a backup quarterback to watch it gets better.
Oh, there was exuberance in the locker room post-game. They were thrilled, obviously, with winning that game and everything that went into that game, specifically because the Baker. And I talked to some guys who felt like, yeah, man, we botched a lot of things on offense, but that's a good thing because we can get better. Like these are things that we can fix. Everything that we saw is fixable, and we can. I don't know if the quarterback plays fixable or not, but they and this wasn't. And when I try and talk to people in the locker room, I don't do okay. I'm a reporter. Here's the recorder. Everything you're saying is on the record. Like I try and just have casual conversations with guys, and it lets their guard down. They're a little bit more open. I think, and honest. But yet they were still really positive, obviously because they won the game and feeling like, hey, man, a lot of the stuff that we messed up, we can clean up.
It's the equivalent of a hitter in the 9th inning with 2 outs in the winning run on base, looking at strike 1, looking at strike 2, fouling off strike 3, watching the first baseman drop the ball, and now you get another pitch, and you hit it over the fence. And so you literally go from the depths of despair, because that's where they were with a minute 13 on the clock. That entire sideline was like, our biggest nightmare just happened. The guy that we ran out of here and we got rid of and has been smack talking us just scored 17 on us in the 4th, and we're going to start 0-1. That's where they were. And then they got one more pitch, and Cade York hit it out of the park. We're going to do nicknames for him, right?
Speaking of Cade York, let's do that because we got a ton of submissions, and whenever we get submissions from the internet, It's brought to you by our favorites at PCC Airfoils. Are you looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Mentor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. Bull is doing better, by the way.
Yes, his
Walking
wife came
around,
to get
feels
him,
better.
or did he drive home himself?
Bull says he feels good enough to drive home. He's going to text us as soon as he gets back.
Let us
we
know
will
when he
update
makes
you guys
it home.
By the end of the show when he makes it back to
Did he
his
look
house.
better before he left?
He did. He actually looked like a lot more colored, come back to his face. Took
Good.
a little venture to the bathroom after his debacle on set.
I was a
and
little
he's feeling
concerned there in a
better.
minute.
So prayers up for Bull.
Yep.
We will let you guys know. But we asked the internet yesterday. Let's take tag board full here. After his performance in his debut, 4 for 4, the game winner, we said Cade York needs a nickname. Because why not? Every great kicker has a nickname. And we got over 200 responses. We're going to go through the 8 favorites we picked, and we're just going to see if any of those you think are worthy of sticking.
Okay.
So let's we're going to run through these
before
quickly.
we give any of them, it'll never beat the best kicker nickname of all time.
What is?
Martin Gramatica, Automatica.
Automatic.
That was pretty damn good because there for a stretch with the Bucks, he was automatic.
I will say, a lot of people said Legatron, and people were like, but that was Greg Zerloin. That's already been used.
Yeah.
You can't recycle
that's true.
a nickname for a separate kicker. So
Yeah.
Legatron, while it is a good nickname, is not in the
It's
running
off
for
the
this.
table.
Off the table.
Okay.
So I just want to clear that out.
All right.
All right, let's get to the first one. This is from Landscape Daddy, the big Kikuna.
It doesn't roll off the
It's
tongue.
a little hard to say.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the first one. Let's go to the next one, Anthony. Das Boot.
That's funny.
It was Oktoberfest this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel like as a young street kid, I can't really kind of say Das Boot.
Yeah. I don't, there's
don't
so
really
many
hit.
negative connotations
Yeah, right.
with that, too.
It's just like, pause.
All right, what else we got?
Number 3. How about Cade York?
I think we'll know it when we see it.
Yeah,
we haven't
we
seen
went
it
through.
yet.
We had 200 to go
We're
through. All right, let's go to
still
the
waiting.
next one.
We're
Anthony.
still waiting.
Okay.
We haven't
Waiting.
seen it.
The Duke of York.
I thought about that in my
Okay,
head.
now that's
not
kinda
bad.
cool.
That's not
That's not
bad.
bad. Duke
Yeah,
of York.
that's
I like
kinda
Okay,
that.
halfway through, number 5. Cade the Cannon.
Ooh,
That's
Nice
that's
little gift.
interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
That's very interesting.
Okay.
Number 6. Big Kick Energy.
That sounds like an energy drink.
Mountain
Mountain Dew.
I
Big
have to
Kick
say-
Energy.
It's a playoff of another type of.
It is
right.
a playoff, another
Big
nickname.
blank energy.
Brian Hartline could use this one.
But I gotta say, I kind of like that.
It's kind of funny.
You're right.
Pause.
You're absolutely right.
Hey, pause that.
You're absolutely right.
Two more.
I had to
Okay,
think
let's
about
see the next one,
that.
Anthony.
As soon as I saw it, I said,
Yeah,
"That's what
that's
that is."
How about York-O-Matic?
York-O-Matic.
Nah.
It's a collar for a dog.
Yeah.
And the last
Just the
one.
York-O-Matic.
Phil Dawson 2, Electric Boogaloo.
No.
Nah, that's
Absolutely not.
not gonna happen. Sorry,
Absolutely.
Tall Man.
Absolutely.
The Duke
So
of
those were 8
And
of
I
the
like Tall Man.
200
Shout
plus
out
we
to him,
got.
too.
So
Too many to go through all 200. Was any of those stick out?
I
as your
think
favorite?
Big Kick Energy
Big
is
Kick-
great, man.
Yeah, like
I can't go
the
with
cannon.
that. I can't go with that.
The cannon.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it unless you take your mind to another place. Then there is.
Or you listen to a lot of songs
Even-
on the radio.
Yeah.
It's always out there.
Wow.
I happen to love that. So what is it? Is it the Duke of York?
Duke of York
I don't
is
think
kind
we've seen it yet.
I agree.
So
with
we
I
have
agree with
we
you.
have two possibles. Run the next tomorrow. Run the next
run it-
next
we
next
got-
Couple
segment.
submissions from YouTube real quick. We have Clutch Cade. We have the Yorkie.
Nope.
We have another Clutch Cade. The Iron Leg. The Tripod.
These are all.
I think
These
Big
are
Kick
pause.
Energy is better than the tripod.
These are pause.
The tripod.
Pause.
The YouTube chat gets. That's why we love the YouTube chat. We see them all. We love them.
No, absolutely. Hey.
It's unhinged, uncontrolled. We have to be censored a little bit. The YouTube chat is certainly not.
Tripod.
That's why we love the YouTube chat.
What did you just say? Unhinged?
Well, like they have no censor. They can say whatever they
No,
want.
no,
he's
no.
talking about, he said
That ain't bad for.
the chat is,
Yeah, the chat-
is unhinged.
Yeah, the chat.
Um,
It's worse than the Raiders' home team crowd. The chat be brutal.
So you have to give her name as equivalent. He's a weapon. You bring it out at special occasions, right?
Yeah.
Like yesterday, because I was like this, Jay, down the stretch here. I said, we still got 13 seconds. We still running another play.
Yeah.
I get a quick in and out real quick,
Right.
I said, get him just a little closer.
You know, you guys are going to.
Quick in and
I
out.
can't believe I was doing this. I was rooting for the Browns to get to the 50-yard line and no more. because I wanted him to break the record with his in his first game.
First game.
I'm going to be stunned if he doesn't break the record because he's okay. So I think you and I were texting on the chain yesterday about something that I saw.
Wait, before you say that.
Yeah.
Steve Becker told me I need to mention this. We have a group chat for the show.
Yes.
And during games, we all expected it to get a little hopping. We were all talking about the game.
Yeah.
And then Steve decided to add Tim Couch, DeQuell Jackson, and Leroy Horde to the mix. And Tim Couch immediately texted me on the side, goes, "How do I get out of this?"
He couldn't concentrate because
and then
the text
DeQuell
replied.
texted me and goes, "How do I mute this?"
And
then Leroy was the one who was texting the most.
Leroy was absolutely leading the lead in text.
I was watching the game.
Yeah.
I muted everybody.
I would read like 20 after. I would miss a bunch.
I muted everybody. I was like, I gotta watch the game.
But back to the Cade York thing. I can't remember which field goal it was. One of his 4 field goals.
36-yarder in the fourth quarter.
Okay, he runs onto the field. Now, they were in chew the clock mode, obviously.
Yep.
So he was in position, and the line was down, and the play clock was at 16 or 17 seconds. And I thought to myself, wow, why are they there? He's going to essentially ice himself.
Yeah.
Because in trying to chew that, the last thing a kicker wants to do, it's like a golfer that stands over the ball.
Stand out there, right?
Longer than he normally does. Right. Kickers have a rhythm and a routine, and they are freaks about it. Trust me, I've talked to many of them about their ritual and their routine. Mm-hmm. And if one thing is different, then it's in their head, and they're more likely to miss because they're thinking about something else. He stood there, and I've never seen this. He stood there for 15 seconds.
Like this.
Milking the clock, and I'm like, this dude is a boss. I mean, he's got onions. He's literally icing himself. They finally snapped it when the play clock got to 1 or 2 seconds. Boom. Split the uprights.
He wasn't thrilled with that.
I'm sure he wasn't.
And he said that was all on him.
It was. He's not supposed to go out there until.
Yeah. He said they got lined up too early. That was his fault.
Was he anxious, and that's why he got there early, or what?
I think probably just nerves.
Just excited to get out there.
First time at the show. It's just like the free throw shooter, right? You don't want to go to stand in the line where they're still jerking with the ball underneath, with the referee still handling the ball under the basket.
Yeah.
You know, there's a rhythm here. You step up, do your thing.
It's like a free throw shooter for you.
And get it done.
You have
right?
you
I'm not going to sit there for 20 seconds.
No. Especially,
and then you surrounded by all the people.
It was nuts. I was watching it, and when he made it, I'm like, this dude is sweating ice cubes.
Yeah. You know why? It's like you go to the bar and you sitting there, right? And your man say, "I ain't talking to nobody until last call for alcohol." And then all of a sudden, he got a bad one with him. I'm like, where did you get that from? Last call for you had to put no work in? No work at all? You said, "Yeah, I'm going to get 2 shots, last call for alcohol." I said, "You're a bad man. You almost let the shot clock run down on you, bro."
Well, that's what Cade did. And
Jay, I got 3 more really good submissions from YouTube.
Oh, wonderful.
These actually,
okay.
How about Lethal Weapon 3?
Oh,
that's nice.
That's nice. Leader in the clubhouse.
That's nice.
That is, you know what? That's the leader in the clubhouse.
That's it.
Anthony,
no,
Anthony,
I want to hear no more.
You want to get traction on this, Anthony? Make a kick-ass graphic right now, like a movie poster, with him cut out like celebrating or kicking Lethal Weapon 3, and that will be trending, and that's going to stick.
That's nice.
Who's that from?
That was from Bobby C. You said. Bobby C on YouTube.
Bobby, we're going to give you all the credit because that's going to stick.
That's
the
nice.
media loves stuff like this.
That's it.
That
done.
is it.
Do you want to hear the other 2 good ones?
I don't even think we need to hear them, but go ahead.
Go ahead. We give you a shout out.
The Closer.
Nope.
Okay, it's better than anything we had before, but
Yeah, it
not
was.
better than LW3.
AK 47.
But that's a 47.
Yeah, no. Why
I
is
like
it
Lethal Weapon 3. I think
Lethal Weapon 3 is it.
That's it. We'll have a graphic by this afternoon.
The sooner you get it out and get it on out there on Twitter, it's going to trend, and that's going to stick.
And Bull made it home, by the way. Bull is home.
Oh, good.
So
Bull,
we can confirm
Bull,
that.
Turn off the show. I know Bull. He's going to say, "Oh, what are they saying about me?" Bull, we love you.
No,
we do. No, we're not saying anything bad.
No Guardians, and you can't have ice cream either. No ice cream when you get home. You drinking Gatorades, electrolytes, and soups.
Hydrate.
I don't want to see you over at Mitchell's, bro. I got your picture up front. You take care of yourself, dog.
Yeah. And ratchet down the care factor on 10.
Yeah.
You know, what was weird was he was fine until he mentioned the Bengals.
Yeah.
He literally, at the first mention of the Bengals, he stopped
man.
And I thought it was an act because I thought, he's.
He was like, hold on.
And it was
so did
not.
director Steve. That's why he took the shot.
It was not an act. He was so sick over the Bengals.
I'm leaning over like, why are you doing a close-up?
Hey, I'm just thankful. I'm so thankful. I mean, for a million reasons, but I don't know how Bull would be standing upright right now if the Browns had lost that game.
Oh, yeah.
Listen,
especially the way it unfolded.
If you haven't watched the post-game show, the 2-minute post-game, make sure you can go back and you can see our initial reaction. We took at 2 minutes for the post-game. We came on right when it was the thick of things, right? So you had the Browns were losing. Baker had just moved his team downfield.
What was his reaction when Baker?
Bull was going crazy. And then his other reaction was he told McNuggets, hey, guys, I got an update for the Bengals and Steelers.
Oh, yeah, and McNuggets said, no one wants to hear it.
No one wants to hear that.
Yeah, no one wants to hear it.
Listen, you guys
so
always
that's
say, put your
right
foot
when
down.
I joined it, and the first thing I heard was McNuggets telling Bull, no one wants to hear that right now. We're talking about the Browns. I was like, wow, look at Mikey.
That's the point.
Y'all been telling me to put my foot down.
Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check us out.
Tell everybody how many views the post-game show got yesterday.
What we have up to in the
give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. Hey, Steve, can we take the cold? You want
think it was
to
like
hear the cold open again?
17,
Want to see
18,000.
Bull before the sickness?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Let's play the cold open again, Steve, and play it the whole way through this time. We cut it out about 5 seconds early. But, yeah, we'll get you that number in 1 sec.
It's big.
By the way, you haven't solved the kicker issue until just because you draft.
No.
This always drives me crazy. When people draft, it's like, well, we solved our problem.
Now, we don't know
the guy
that
you're
yet.
replacing him, the guy who's being replaced, you thought that guy solved the problem.
Yeah.
So until the guy plays good football in the NFL, whatever position, you didn't replace the guy.
Brad.
Here comes the snap. The kick is up. I can't see it. I think it's good. I think it's good. It's good. He made the kick. He made the kick. Cade York, baby. Baker, you suck, Baker. Cade York made the kick.
How does Baker get it?
Good draft pick.
Just
Hey,
internet
congrats
is
to
6
Jay. He finally got
minutes
something
behind.
right. It was a good
Yeah.
pick by Cade York.
Jeff don't know what's going
You a
on.
roll runner down there? What's going on?
So upper right, Jeff Lloyd, who you do the Lockdown Browns podcast with, hadn't seen the kick yet.
Neither had I.
And McNuggets, you guys, I don't know, you guys are streaming through your toilet or something. I don't know why, but they're way behind. And when Bull is screaming and yelling, and guess what? Half of the panel didn't see it yet, so I'm sure half of the people that were watching at that time didn't see it yet either. And there's nothing worse than having a big play spoiled by someone who's faster on TiVo or whatever the hell it is.
You saw Bull, as soon as Bull said it, I was going crazy. I was watching it on the computer, and then like 5-6 seconds later, the timeline goes crazy. Like they won.
I love how he immediately gets a Baker, you suck.
I love how Baker caught a stray there. Like just
right.
Look at Jeff.
Baker did his job. Baker got him down the field, put him in position.
Not on the field. Did everything he could do in the fourth quarter. You suck.
Jay asked me to put together a montage of both that first 9 minutes.
Oh, it would have been so good.
The issue is he's not looking. He's looking at the game the whole time. So it's only these quick flashes. It didn't make sense in a linear format. And I tried. I was going to put really sad music to it too. But it didn't work. So I apologize to the viewers.
I wanted to tap dance on him because on the show, you started the cold open with him saying, just because you drafted a kicker.
Well, do you want to hear your SOT from that same day? You want to revisit what you said on that exact same day in that exact same discussion?
If you have it.
Oh, of course we got it. Come on.
All right. Hey.
This is from May.
That's why he was yelling at me, because I said,
this is what
we got
Jay
our
said.
kicker.
Yeah, let's play it.
History will tell us whether or not this was a good pick. But in the here and now, they had a glaring need for a kicker. And I think that the stats that jumped out most to me, first of all, I love the fact that he kicked at a school where there were high-pressure kicks.
Yeah.
He won a national championship.
Yeah.
He played in huge games, and he was trotted out there to make kicks that were make-or-break kicks.
Yeah.
In fact, he beat Florida and your guy, McPherson, with like a 52-yarder in the fog. That was one of the great kicks I've seen in college football history.
Yeah.
Couldn't even see the uprights. The numbers that really jumped out at me about Cade York, and DeQuell, this is, I think, what really changes the game. He was 15 of 19 on kicks greater than 50 yards. Yeah. I just think it brings so many more scoring opportunities to a team when you've got a guy that you can throw out there and not hope that he makes it, but you've got numbers that can say he should make this kick.
Okay, get your victory lap on. Okay.
No,
there you go. He was on that.
I got it.
Had that?
I got it.
You
But that's when Bull was like, just because you drafted a kicker doesn't mean you have your guy.
That was the exact response to
yeah.
that
So
comment.
we just kind of play them out of order. But we had drafted guys before. I think in the last 7 or 8 years, we drafted 2 or 3 kickers between Siebert and Zane Gonzalez, and there might have been one other one in
Joseph,
there.
Was Joseph a guy?
Joseph.
What's his name?
Greg Joseph.
Greg
He wasn't
Joseph. He wasn't drafted.
No.
I just got him.
But I think when they drafted those guys, I just wasn't excited about either of them. I think the pedigree of Cade York is what really excited me. Plus, I had talked to a couple of other general managers that said he'll probably be the only kicker drafted, and your team in that division better get him. This was before the draft, by the way. I thought they'd get him 5th or 6th round. The only argument I thought was it too soon? But what's amazing, and I think the best kickers in the league are in the AFC North now.
Yes.
But what's crazy is, and he's going to miss kicks, and he's going to miss big kicks that cost the Browns the game in that moment. It's going to happen. It happens to every kicker. But Chris Boswell yesterday made a game-winning kick, but also missed a couple of kicks that would have won the game. And Evan McPherson, who was touted last year as numbers-wise, the most clutch kicker the postseason has ever seen. I think he was 12 of 12 or 14 of 14.
He was spraying it everywhere.
He missed 2 kicks that would have won the game. Now, I know they were dealing with a snapper issue, but as Bull would say, I don't want to hear excuses.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
You missed, bro.
And they missed. And our guy's going to miss. Lethal Weapon 3. It feels good to use that for the first time. Lethal Weapon 3 is going to miss some kicks. But I think over the long haul, he's going to make a hell of a lot more. And he changes the way this team plays football.
He has a swagger that kickers don't normally have. And I talked to him about it in the locker room. And I actually, the tweet that we showed earlier, I told him that.
That's so funny, by the way.
I said, you going in the Ring of Honor next Sunday? And he was like, oh, man, don't even.
He was pretty oblivious to it after the game. I'm very calm in the interview that Didi had with him. I saw him. I was like, he was basically like.
He expects to make it. That's why.
I was a little nervous at the beginning, and he said they didn't trot me out in the beginning because they didn't want to have me do a 50-yard as my first one.
Right.
Which was smart, I think.
But he came along. But you know what it reminds me of? The Browns drafting Cade York. Remember when they drafted Ray Guy, the punter out in Oakland?
Oh, God, did the Raiders take heat? They drafted him in the first round.
Right. Took heat.
Oh, my God. And ended up, I think probably average-wise there's been better kickers, but he was the best kicker in the game for a long time.
He was bombing balls.
Yeah, and that kick was
weapon.
They also took heat when they took Sebastian Janikowski in the first round, and he was a long-time kicker for them that really had a powerful leg.
I love the draft pick as well. I was on record doing radio shows saying I love it. If you don't have a kicker, draft one. You keep drafting one until you find one.
You get one.
It was the one position. First of all, NFL games are decided by 3 points or less. All the time.
Every week.
I have the percentages. It's like 40% or something.
Yeah.
And so you need to start putting more emphasis on that position rather than treat it so flippantly of don't draft a kicker. Teams need to start spending more resources on it.
That's right.
And it was the one position where they could get the number one guy on their board. They couldn't get it at defensive tackle, linebacker, receiver, quarterback. No other spot by the time they drafted they get the number one guy on their board. They could at kicker.
Vegas had the line of the game as a 1 point favorite for Carolina. 1 point. So that tells you right there. Yeah. You didn't need 7.
But I told him, I said, when we were talking after the game, I said, most kickers just try and keep their heads down, their mouths shut. I said, you've got a swagger about you that I don't see.
That's why big kick energy kind of fits him.
And at first he was like,
he's got it. He knows he's got it.
At first he was like, and then he was like, yeah, you know what? I do have
it.
Guys,
I like that he embraces that.
Yeah.
Guys, I tell you what, man. Y'all don't see it coming. It's building. To play the way the Browns need to play, right? To play that conservative ball control, keep the ball from other people, only give you a little bit of possessions.
With their run game, too.
30
Games are going to be decided by kicks at the end.
30, I looked up, they had almost double. It was like 30 minutes of possession time with the football compared to what?
It was like 38 to 22. They dominated every stat in the game and almost lost.
And here's the thing. Well, that's the way you play on the margins. Like when you play that kind of game, you got to play on the margins. But if you look at Buffalo, and we haven't talked about that game so much, if you wanna go out and throw the ball 100 times against Buffalo, they're gonna you're gonna get hung 70 on you. Did you see the way the Chargers play, when you play those teams, you're going to have to play defense.
I thought the Chargers underperformed a little.
They did. But
I don't know if that was a testament to the Raiders' defense, but I thought the Chargers were ranked 48.
But this is crazy. They didn't play their best game. And
No, they didn't.
Still look like.
I thought the Raiders definitely had, outside of Devontae Adams, who, by the way, are you kidding me? What was his?
He was absurd.
It's like every time they needed to complete him. I don't know why they ever ran a ball or ran a play that didn't go to him, because nobody can cover him.
He finished with 10 receptions, 141 yards, and a touchdown. He was targeted 17 times.
Ooh. Unbelievable.
That's his boy.
Spoon-fed.
Unbelievable. And you don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be scratching his head?
And you know what I want, Brad?
He had nobody to throw to yesterday.
You know what
Aaron
I
Rodgers.
want? We talked about this earlier. Hey, it's at one point in time they're going to put 9 people up there. So that's what I do.
Yeah.
He stopped me.
So the question is, can he be can Chubb be the Devontae Adams? Because I think he's the same caliber player at his position, at the other position.
And I think that's how we're going to have to win. I mean, this is not going to be a team that blows you out by 21 points, 24 points. It's not. We're going to get grinding, and everybody's going to be involved in it.
Minutes.
You're going to be counted on here. Jacoby Brissett, you're going to be counted on here to manage the game. But the bread and butter is Chubb and Hunt. That's the bread and butter. So stop me.
Because I'm going to hit you over the head.
Well, that should empower the offensive line to be like, I got to clear some holes here.
We got 2 things we got to address before we wrap up today. We have not talked about Myles Garrett. Somehow, in an hour and 45 minutes, we actually have not mentioned Myles Garrett and his dominant performance yesterday. Jason, I want to start with you. What do you think was going through Myles' head when he took down Baker for that first time?
I talked to him a little bit after the game, and he didn't really.
I bet he wasn't thrilled with his performance.
He said, because I asked him, like, was Baker talking? He said, not really. Like, Baker wasn't really saying a whole lot out on the field. Now, Jadeveon Clowney said, yeah, he was talking. But I don't think that there was much interaction between Myles and Baker. We saw a little half hug at the coin toss between the two of them, but I don't think there was a lot of interaction between them.
Did you get the sense that Myles felt he played
I think he was happy.
up to his ability?
I didn't ask him that specifically.
I expected more of him. I really did.
I
know
he
had the back-to-back sacks, but
Yep.
if you take, and I know if we don't do that, he was great on those 2 plays, and that it helped them in the long run. But I just thought going up against a rookie tackle that he would be in the backfield all day long, and he really wasn't.
They were from when I was like watching, like really watching.
He got a lot of help.
They were shifting a lot of the
that.
protections toward him, and that's when you saw Clowney sort of get loose on the other side with a couple of the batted passes and everything else. But I think they were really trying to help on Myles' side, and there were times that I thought it was great they put Clowney and Myles on the same side.
I like that too. Will we see more of that?
Blitz, I would think so.
I hope
worked.
so. It did work.
Then they had the safety blitz, and I think it was JJ3, right?
It was.
Got home from the other side.
Yeah, and I love that alignment because and now teams, once they do it, no one's going to be surprised by it. But when they do it, even though they're not surprised, they're going to be they're handed there going, oh Jesus,
and
you gotta be kidding me.
One thing real quick on the Kareem Nick backfield,
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot more of that.
I hope so.
And I was talking to a couple guys who said like, hey, we don't have a fullback on the roster. Kareem's an absolute maniac when he's on the field.
Great blocker.
He has the sort of a fullback mentality. So I think you're going to see Kareem in that fullback role when they're on the field together, and the fact that there is no fullback on this roster.
We talked about this before, and I always go back to the USC national championship game against Texas when Pete Carroll tried to outthink everybody, and he had his Heisman Trophy winner standing next to him while he gives the ball to Lendale White. He tried to be the smartest guy in the room.
Right.
Another time, Pete Carroll tried to be the smartest guy in the room and got picked at the goal line. Cost him a Super Bowl and a national championship. And I always bring those 2 out because there are times when it's just obvious what you do. Don't try to outthink everybody. When Stefanski was refusing to do that last year, even though he had a fullback on the roster, I just felt like there was a measure of that where he was like, I know what I'm doing here. I'm a and he's clearly smarter than everybody. Fans think that we know. We don't know. He knows. But I just thought it was so ridiculous. And I said on the show Friday, I had an epiphany Wednesday that Stefanski's going to get it. He's too smart not to get it again. And you saw in that moment that the defense is like a spotlit deer, and it just takes 1 second for that to happen. And we struggled mightily last year at the goal line. And all of a sudden, they got them both in there, and Hunt walks it. He falls, catches the ball falling down. I hope to God that it becomes a staple, particularly at the goal line.
I think it will. Especially, I was just going to say that, especially at the goal line. I think you're going to see, I don't know if I would call that the goal line package.
Right.
But I think you're going to see Kareem in that fullback role.
It gives defenses a handful to think about.
Yeah. To jump back to the Myles Garrett thing really quickly, I talked to somebody probably the day before. It's close to in Myles Garrett's camp, and they said Myles is he's focused. He's more focused than we've seen him. And he said, you know, the person was talking about it, he was just saying that Myles is focused. He knows what's ahead of him. He knows he's going to have to carry the team. And sometimes when you can be too high up, a lot of people will follow that energy. And I thought Myles Garrett's energy was on point. I thought he could have been emotional. I thought he could have been out there hitting guys late. I thought he had an opportunity a few times.
No penalties, right?
No penalties.
Usually he's good for one jump.
At least jumping off sides.
And I thought Baker, knowing that,
and Baker
he was going to pull him off all day long.
Great at the hard snap. But I think what you saw was
control.
Is the way Myles Garrett affects the whole entire offensive game plan, right? So there was a lot of things. When Baker started going back, their adjustment was in the first half, they said, we can't do 5-step drops. There's no way. We got to at least do some draws, quick stuff with Christian McCaffrey, because there's no way we can block this guy. I thought it rubbed off on Jadeveon Clowney. I thought he set the tone with those 2 knockdown passes. A lot of guys inside. I think what they showed you was that if those 2 dudes in the defensive line get the pressure that they want, I think this could be a really, 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 really great defense.
Well, and to your point, I'll say this, that I thought Myles Garrett played extremely within himself yesterday.
Yeah.
He was under control.
Yeah.
Even his comments after the game, they asked him about Baker. Baker, he says, I don't have any problem with Baker as a football player. The other stuff we talked about last week, you know, going against the code of what the players go by, that's a whole nother thing. The thing that I missed with this, G, was this. I'm still looking for somebody to be the tone setter on the defense. Because when they started, because Carolina was coming in the fourth quarter.
Right. Yeah.
There was nobody to being like, no, this is not happening here.
Right.
There was nobody here. And usually, if I'm in my old day, it was the linebacker sitting out here like, this is not going down today. And
you wanted somebody to make a play.
I don't think it can be the DN, you know. At times, he doesn't have that personality, right? There's some maniac sitting out here trying to make sure that everybody is locked in here down the stretch here, because every possession is critical down the stretch here.
Particularly when they had stolen the momentum away.
Right.
I felt like, okay, the way you stop from losing right now is for somebody to step up and make a play.
Take that ball away.
And they didn't do that. That was the one thing that, I thought they played great in the first quarter, even most of the first half. They just had the one blown coverage in the first half.
It's like when I watched Buffalo, it was Von Miller.
Yeah.
I'm making a
Clearly
play.
Von Miller.
Yeah.
For the
when
Rams,
you watch the Rams, it's clearly Aaron Donald.
It's Aaron Donald.
When you watch the Steelers, it's clearly T.J. Watt.
Somebody's making a play.
Speaking of, I know. I don't wish illness or injury on anybody.
It's not confirmed that it's torn. They actually, from Jonathan Jones, I'll pull up the exact tweet, says there's optimism he may only miss a month.
Yeah, guys can play with it not being completely torn, but you know that it's in your mind, and you know that on you get caught the wrong way, and you tear it, and your season's over.
And he's so good with his hands.
He's great with his hands.
Everything is hands, upper body, and if anybody pulls him and he's moving, and plus you got to think, do you really want to go into next year with all that?
No.
A lot of premier players do not want to have something half torn.
I know, but if they take him out voluntarily and give him surgery, it almost seems like we're giving up on the season. He's their MVP.
Yeah.
He's their guy. And if he comes off the field voluntarily, it's one thing if it happens and it's torn, he's got to come out. But I think if you pull him out to have the surgery, same thing with Baker last year. He could have had the surgery after week 2. What would that have said to the fan base? In retrospect, would have been the move to make.
Right.
But the way it played out, we have the benefit of the results to say that. I don't know what they'll do with T.J. Watt. We're running out of time. There were a couple of other things that I really wanted to get to. It's not necessarily Browns-based, but there was so much that happened in week 1 that I'd love to go through this grab bag. Do you guys have a worst to first? A team that finished last year that you think has the best chance to finish first this year? I'll give you mine. I think it's the Ravens.
Oh, that's an easy one.
Yeah, that's cheap.
I mean, is there anybody else?
No, they look pretty good yesterday.
I was trying to think of all the
I thought the
last place
Panthers.
teams.
I thought the Panthers. I don't think they're going to have a playoff season or a great season. They're going to win some games.
Yeah.
They're going to beat teams that aren't as talented as the Browns. They better fix that offensive line though, because that offensive line was absolutely. It was worse than I thought it was going to be, and I thought they were going to be bad.
I'll tell you this: they weren't in last place. I was quietly surprised with the Dolphins.
So that was another team was biggest sleeper. I've got Miami as my biggest sleeper.
I tell you who played well yesterday in a loss. Detroit showed themselves.
They came back big time.
Detroit
A lot of
showed.
those were garbage points,
Detroit,
but
they played hard.
They didn't quit.
They did quit.
They did not
hard.
quit.
And that's Campbell had to be thrilled with the way they finished that game. Another one, a team that is going to take a step back. All the playoff teams last year, who's going to take the biggest step back?
Green
and
Bay.
also, who's going to, from the non-playoffs, who's going to take the biggest step forward? You got Green Bay?
I say Green Bay, they were horrible. I mean, this thing is
You got nobody to throw
This
to.
thing is a mess up there now.
Now, Aaron Rodgers did say after they started slowly last year, relax. But he can't relax this year because Devontae Adams isn't in that room.
I'm gonna go with the Rams. The Rams did not Stafford.
I'm gonna
did
buzz the
not look
week one
good.
overreaction buzzer on that one.
That one?
Just because I think the Bills are that good.
Well,
I've got the Bills winning the Super Bowl.
I'll throw you another one.
Cincinnati looked to
That's
That was
my
my
team.
second one. That was my second one.
Right here.
That was my second
Cincinnati.
one. That was my
I
second
was just
one.
surprised at this, Jay.
The picks.
No.
This is the worst
you didn't
first
make
half.
you didn't strengthen your line at all. He
No.
was running for his life
And that's
yesterday.
why I have
again.
Cincinnati.
This division is so tightly bunched. Cincinnati's a slam dunk, is taking a step back. Baltimore
Yeah.
jumping up. I think Tampa Bay could be in trouble.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think Tom Brady's got a lot going on right now.
You know, it's funny that you brought that up because if you follow the gossip sheets, it's not even gossip. I mean, he basically came out and confirmed it.
Did he?
He and Giselle are in trouble.
Wow, really?
Big time.
Was it the fact that he
came back? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's driving it.
That
Now,
probably
all this was according to People Magazine,
Yeah.
but according to People Magazine, friends of the couple say that they're taking a break and they're not spending time together. She typically goes to road games. She did not go to the Dallas game last night. And this is the one thing that you know about Tom Brady is don't ever ask him to choose anything else over football.
Yeah.
Because he's been that way since he was 6.
Right.
That's all he loved. That's what he loves the most. And
Well,
I think I could see it on his face.
Yeah.
Even before the game started, I could just tell he's wearing something that's really, really heavy.
Yeah, I think Tampa's in trouble this year.
And so I don't think that's if that's the case, and I've seen it before. It didn't start last year. She was tired of him. She was tired of him before.
I think when he came back for last year, it was against her wishes. She was, she didn't hide that, and he didn't either. But this time, I think that she thought she had him back for good, and it took about 6 weeks before he said, "No, I can't." And if you think about it, he should have had another ring last year.
Yeah, that's
he came
what
within one play of having another ring last year. Because if they get to the Super Bowl,
Right.
I like the Bucs over the Bengals in that game. I mean, we'd never know, but I'm not going to ever bet against Tom Brady in a Super Bowl.
The problem now is you're asking him to pick her
Yes.
over something he loves.
And
that you would have.
And I would think that she would know him well enough not to make that ultimatum because that's a big ultimatum. I mean, if someone loves something and it's the most important thing in their life, I would think that their spouse would understand that in any and all circumstances and they would be supportive. And I'm not saying just
I don't know. I go the other way.
You do?
I do.
What?
Go home. What else do you have to accomplish?
But nothing, but he's still so good. Does he
in
want
it.
to 10 years from now have to answer the question, could I have won 8?
Do you want to lose your family over
The
it?
question
Is he going to, though?
I don't know.
The question is, as you get older, you learn different things here. You love what you love, right?
And you
the
can't
person
change it.
you want beside you, gotta ride with that. Gotta
She
ride
has.
with that.
She has.
She has.
For
She's
all
been-
these
No,
years.
she's been a trooper.
But it's not a part-time ride.
Brad, if I could tell you right now,
Yeah.
I have a magic wand and I can tap you with it, and it would allow you physically to go through the rigors of one more NBA season. You don't even have to think about it. You're going back.
I'll go do it.
And I think most people that
I'll
I
go
know
do it.
that played that game would do that.
Go do it.
Even financially, the guy's
Because not about the money.
he's got a job waiting for him where he's automatically going to be the highest paid person in that profession.
Here, I would tell you, Jordan would have played with no money.
Yeah, because he loved it that much.
This is what I love.
In life, you gotta. I choose purpose over people. Your purpose will put people in your life that's supposed to be there because they understand your purpose.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
I just look at it differently. Go home. Go home.
Jason's like, screw that.
You have all the money you need. You have the career. You can't.
Jason,
there's nothing else you
Jay,
can do.
Could you
Go
imagine,
home and be
Jay?
a
Could you
dad.
imagine if he does win this year? And with the receivers that he has, Fournette looked good last night.
Jay, let me tell you
with
something.
the team that he has, he could win it.
hold on.
Could you imagine 8 Super Bowls?
Let me tell you something, Jay. You can still
I can't imagine
you can still be a
6.
dad.
I
Yes, you can.
can't imagine.
You can
I can't
still be a
imagine
dad.
1 McNuggets. I wanted 1 my whole life as a fan. I wanted to cheer for 1. Could you imagine a guy winning 8, 1 at 45, 2 different teams? You talk about there's very few GOAT arguments. that are open and closed. I don't know any other GOAT argument that is this open and closed.
I think it's already closed. He doesn't need anything else.
I think it is, but he seals it forever. No one's ever going to come along and win 9 Super Bowls.
It is very clear. I go back to this. Very clear. Football is what he loves. He loves football.
You got to do what you love.
He loves
Big
football.
Nuggets, you've been putting your head in the sky for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, what do you
Yeah,
got?
we got to wrap up last week's bets before we do final takes today.
Okay.
We did 10 prop bets on Friday. Let's take this,
Oh,
Steve.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
These are the results. We have our top 2
Yeah.
winners.
Woo!
Bush and Jason both went 8-2 in the prop bets. Brad and Jay. Jay, you were right. I miscounted. Thank
I
you
know.
for
You
calling me
said
out
I
on
was
that.
5-5, and I went back and counted because I thought I got at
Nope,
least
you're
6
right. You got 6. And I didn't sleep last night. I was so thinking about how the show. I texted you at 3:30 in the morning.
I
saying,
know. I got a text
"You're
from
right."
you. Literally, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning.
I miscounted. Jay went 6-4. Let's go to the next one.
I'm only 2 games
Tyvis and
back.
Polk both went 5-5. Bull, I sent the original text. I miscounted his 2. That's how tired and all in my head
You
was.
had Bull at 3 and 7 or
3 and 7, but he actually did go 4 and 6. Remember,
Yeah.
he switched his pick on the
I
air.
do remember that. That's
so
what-
I did switch
Don't
that.
tell him
we
that
also
number.
had to pick a winner of a headline.
Yeah.
And we went back and forth in the production booth between J and G, and we turned out, let's take it, I think G had the best one.
Oh, wait a minute.
What a day! What
Wait a
a
minute.
day!
Guys, I'm just going to say right now, show mine. They flat missed it.
We
And
don't
I'm
have
gonna
yours in the queue. We got to pull that up.
Wait, what was Baker when he was here? He choked in the 4th quarter. Did he choke yesterday in the 4th quarter? Guys, you got that wrong.
I didn't check.
I'm sorry, you got that wrong.
Listen, here, I'll turn
You don't
the
have my
camera.
headline?
It doesn't say
Here's my
choke.
headline.
What's your headline
Here's
say?
my headline. Running start.
Okay. Well, go ahead. What you say?
Okay, did they not run to victory yesterday?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Got you.
Okay.
Got you.
They ran to victory yesterday.
So here's why mine.
Baker was who we thought he was.
But here, you know why mine's is doper? Because if you look at the stat line for Baker Mayfield, 235 yards, 1 pick, 1 touchdown, playing against a backup quarterback at home. We thought you.
17 in the 4th quarter.
He did that.
They didn't lose because of Baker.
He did.
They did not lose because of Baker.
But
Guys, you got that wrong.
Did my
I
line?
don't know who
Voted? Did my line
It was a
say?
3-person vote.
You guys are, I got to tell you, that's the biggest miss that you guys collectively have had. All your top 5s and everything.
We'll put a YouTube poll up.
Please.
And we'll
Put it up.
get a
Put it up. Put it
vote.
up.
Anthony, can
That's
you throw
terrible. Bro,
that
that's
so you
terrible.
can
Hey,
find-
we're going
That's
to the
terrible.
people.
You can find Jay's on Friday's show. We do have today's bets.
He had 17 in the 4th quarter.
That's the way to come back. The first.
And
People's
this is
champ.
Jay's, by the way.
The
It's on
people's
tag.
champ.
We actually are appealing this verdict, so I wouldn't put that on.
Here's Jay's.
What the hell? I got all of it right.
Hey.
Hey.
Jason and Brad, would you like to be?
You want to give me that belt right now?
No.
What's happening?
Would you guys like to choose between?
I'm going with Jay. Sorry.
Lead. No. Lead.
Brad?
Hey, Tony says always lead with the lead. Baker Mayfield is the lead. And why would I put?
Why can't both be true? We ran to the win, when I see G's tweet, I don't take it as a negative against Baker.
It's not
I have seen this.
You're right,
I've
and I
seen this
even
movie
said
again.
Baker did exactly what we thought he would do,
Right.
except when the game was on the line.
The only thing
When the game was on the line, Baker here always choked in that situation. Always. That's what he was known for.
I
He
thought-
couldn't get it done in the 4th quarter.
I thought he was known for just coming up short.
But he
my
didn't
thought
come up
process.
short yesterday.
It was on the Panthers. They came up short.
Yeah, no, but he didn't. To Jason, Jason
You can't
co-signed my
separate the
point.
I've been as hard on Baker as Bull, but
They
I
did not
agree with
lose
you
that game
100%.
yesterday because of Baker Mayfield.
He didn't make any terrific throws, but he didn't lose them the game.
He didn't lose them the
did
game.
He did what was
so,
expected of him.
like,
He is who we thought he was.
see, here's how that headline
You
would
see-
be right.
You see how they hit?
No.
They keep hitting.
Here's how your headline would have worked, okay? It's 21-17 Browns.
Okay.
Baker gets the ball, 2 minutes to go, 80 yards.
Yep.
He drives him down. He gets him close. He's got a man in the end zone. He makes a bad read. Pick, game over. That's who Baker was here.
Right.
By the way, let me
We
ask
have
you.
the YouTube poll results.
Go
We'd
ahead.
like to know.
What was it, a 1-second poll?
We have 107 votes in a minute. We still got 1,600 people watching.
No, that's a record.
That is a record. We put up big numbers today.
Yeah, that's what I thought we would.
So we have over 100 votes.
Let's
Okay.
talk to it.
86% for G. Bush.
Well, now wait a minute. It is the YouTube universe.
The people have spoken.
Plus,
people
it was,
said we asked
it was
the
an
people.
anti-Baker headline, so you know what the poll's going to show.
Always lead with the lead. Shout out to Tony. He taught me well. Shout out to him. I'm the tag team.
That's horrible.
People's shit.
You guys missed this so badly. And I'll tell you, not that I don't.
And
respect,
I got orange shoes
I respect
on.
everybody's opinion, but I think it's pretty obvious. The person on this panel whose opinion I most trust is in the middle. Jason gets it right almost all the time.
Jason didn't have a vote on this one.
No, actually, Jason had the only vote that I care about.
Tag in, bro.
So,
Tag in, bro. Tag me in.
Monday Night Football
That was
tonight.
horrible, bro.
Let's unveil our new bet cards. Let's take 52.
We had a poll up for 40 seconds.
I know.
We got a winner. We got a winner. Dewey defeats Truman.
Stop the
vote.
Dewey defeats Truman.
If it gets closer by the end, we will.
Democracy is at stake. Democracy is at stake.
They counting ballots over here. They're talking about some irregularities in the poll. Irregularities in the poll.
Here's how this went. We're going to launch a poll. We talk 20 seconds, and the results are in.
Landslide.
The longer it goes, the more numbers are going for G. So I think you should have closed the poll.
Listen, in reality, I would never expect, because given the tone of those headlines, I'm surprised he didn't get 100%.
No, you got 14%.
I'm surprised it's not 100% because
people voted.
it's Baker hate. So that one's so easy. That's a slam dunk.
Actually, that's why it's so
Put
nuanced.
mine up again one more time. Put mine up again.
Run it back.
No, watch.
Run that back.
Watch here. I want you. See, you can't even argue about that.
I love it. I like that.
I think it's because it's the condensed picture. I think that's
No,
the
I
third
hate that
off.
picture, bro. First of all, they both look like they're 5'4". That's 300 pounds. They look like bull. They look like
They
bull.
ain't even got no game footage for you, dog.
Well, you didn't either.
I know. All I need is Baker.
Congratulations. Your headline was okay, but,
man, I appreciate you,
but
dog.
he really wasn't who, I mean.
We're
you
going
gonna
to do
get
this
some
every
money,
Friday.
but
This
not
will be
today.
a Friday, Monday regular thing, so make sure you guys tune in. We're going to take
I
it.
like that. I like to write the headline before the game.
Hey, Anthony, the real winner is Anthony. You guys did a tremendous job on that. I love that. That's my favorite thing in the world.
Hey,
and the props. I like that, McNuggets.
Do we have an LW? We probably don't have a Lethal Weapon 3 yet, do we?
You know what? Actually, let's turn the camera. Anthony's working on it as we
Guys,
speak.
I'm telling you, that's going to stick.
That's going to hit.
Yeah.
Jason, am I right? You know what the media gets its teeth into.
Maybe.
And that's going to be on Fox Sports. That's going to be on CBS.
You gotta
I'll
keep saying
guarantee
it.
you, they are going to say in their pregame show within the next couple of weeks, Cleveland's got a new weapon, and he's known as Lethal Weapon 3.
Make sure y'all retweet that. And make sure we
the Ultimate
hashtag.
Cleveland Sports Show better take credit for that now.
Hold on. Then after the picture, you got to have at the bottom, hashtag Big Kick Energy.
Yeah.
We gonna keep that big kick. We gonna keep that big kick energy.
I think that's perfect. I do think that's perfect.
That's Paul's
Put that on there. Make sure that Big
We
Kick
gotta
Energy
get
is
some
on
shirts
that,
made.
is on that movie poster.
Cleveland Clothing Company. We got to get some shirts made for
That
that.
big kick energy.
Cleveland Clothing Company, if you're watching, we're going to trademark it right now. It's called a poor man's trademark.
Right,
You can
it
either
is.
write it down and put it in an envelope and mail it to yourself,
He's facts.
or you can say it on television.
And they stamp
And
the
the
time.
Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, and who gave us that nickname?
Bobby C.
Bobby C. We are trademarking that right now. Lethal Weapon 3.
If Bobby C DMs me on Twitter, I'll send him a T-shirt.
Of course he's getting a T-shirt.
Come on, D.
It's like, you remember what after Phil Jackson came up with three-peat?
Oh, yeah.
Like, nobody ever heard that
Yeah,
before.
right.
And then all of a sudden, and he trademarked that sucker, and he's still getting paid off.
Wow.
He trademarked it. Three-peat.
Listen, Tegna. Y'all got all the lawyers up there. Y'all tell us what we can do all the time, don't y'all?
Trademark, poor man's trademark, Lethal Weapon 3.
Hashtag
Of course, I
Big Kick
wonder
Energy.
if the movie would actually,
Probably.
they probably already own that, don't they?
Probably.
Spell it a
I got
different
ahead of
way.
myself.
Spell it a different way.
I
That's how we get around it.
No, you know what? Instead of the E, make it a 3. So you're turning it. See what I did there? So instead of the E, in lethal and weapon, make them 3s.
Yeah.
Look, that's dope. I like that.
Hashtag
Lethal.
what?
Hashtag Big Kick Energy.
It's a fun Monday. I like Victory Mondays.
By the way, if you are Cade York, you gotta love all this.
Yeah.
You gotta love the Big Kick Energy.
It's coming.
You gotta love the Lethal Weapon 3.
Coming
You
your
know
way.
what you know?
You gotta love that he's going into the Ring of Honor next week.
Oh, yeah, it's coming.
Hey,
Get there early.
you better come holler at us, dog. They stand under this umbrella, you might get rained on, bro. Hey, come on now over here now. You got to come on.
Yo, you got to come on the show. We hooking you up.
We got
you got to come
you
on
got
the
to
show.
show up. Holler at your boy.
Cade, you have an open invitation to come on the show whenever you can.
We reached out this morning.
I'm sure the Browns were like, yeah, no.
Not your back.
Yeah, you won't.
Right.
You won't.
Hey, we're going to keep bugging
So
y'all.
much for access.
Jay, if it's any
Unbelievable.
consolation prize, Ray Gordon on Twitter says Jay's headline was the right one. So you
Listen,
got one guy on Twitter.
I only needed one person to tell me that I got it right. And not because he sided with me.
Oh, Jason.
Jason is the level-headed one on this panel.
Yes.
He really is.
He brings some sense.
He's the
He's wearing a
quiet
collar.
guy in the
Look what we're all
room.
wearing, and he's wearing a collar.
I know, but he's the
level-headed
quiet guy in the room that's just sitting back watching everybody embarrass themselves and waiting for a chance to make it
I
all
just let y'all kill each other. And
make
I'll just
sense.
sit here and mop up
Like,
the blood. when
I
you're
literally
done.
wanted to start the show. I started the show by saying, enough with the division.
Right.
As soon as Paul gets a chance to talk, Paul's like, yeah, okay, that was cool and everything, but no. Like, I
tried
really
that.
thought he's not going to take a victory lap tomorrow because he can't. Like, he just can't.
He pulled up. Not
And
only
he's
did he pull up,
he's
pulled up.
still trying to take a victory
And got his
lap.
victory lap, gave it up, and then left.
And then
what a mic drop.
After he dumped on me saying that York was the best pick of the draft
Right.
and will change this team's life moving forward, which is exactly what I said.
Oh.
After taking a dump on me for that, he says, Cade York, baby! Cade York! Baker, you suck! You know what? That's the quietest that spot has ever been. Or will be.
Bulls.
Hey, we got 90 seconds real quick. How about the Guardians sweeping the Twins?
Oh, absolutely. Yesterday.
Real quick, real quick.
They needed that.
Unbelievable. Biggest series of the year, and they came up with a sweep.
Hey, fill the park this week.
Yes, that's
Come
a
on.
great
That was going to be my final
hashtag
take.
fill the park.
Fill the park,
Yes,
you guys.
come on, let's go,
You're a
Cleveland.
First place team, 2.5 games up in the division. Huge stretch coming up,
Right.
9 games in 8
And
days.
Albert Pujols is coming in,
Yeah.
chasing history.
So
They are,
let's fill
we're-
the park
we're
this week.
currently with
Angels
it.
first, and then a huge series with the Twins.
And then the White Sox.
Sox are in there as
Yeah,
well.
let's go.
Playoffs in today, we'd be the 3rd seed.
We would
saw-
win the
I-
Central. But on the flip side, and this is what scares me, because the White Sox have scared me all season.
Yeah.
They're down there and they're lurking, and they're starting to get it
They're
together.
coming.
And now La Russa's not in that dugout. I'm afraid that the loser of the division, the second place team, will not get a wild card. I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
So if you're the Guardians, you are all eggs in
We
on
all
the
in
idea
here.
that you've got to win the Central. I read a column this morning on, I think it was MLB.com, that said why the winner of the AL Central has a surprise playoff run in him. I'm telling you, Bieber's got 9 straight quality starts.
Yep.
He looked great again yesterday.
He's putting it back together.
He's Bieber again.
Yep.
He's Bieber again. And that gives us a chance. We're out of time. We're thinking of Bull. Bull get better. Hopefully he's back tomorrow. If not, we understand. 22-hour break. We'll talk more about the Browns' big win, and we'll start to peek ahead toward the Jets game. Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, thanking you for your patronage. We broke a record yesterday. We broke records today with viewership. See you tomorrow.
Peace.